So we met each other. This, if I would go back to like just how we met each other and how it started, this relationship and how it's going to bloom now that we have time as adults. Here,
Drink to that.
Prost.
Cheers.
Oh, what was that? Was that my computer?
First comment came in.
Yeah, it sounded like a comment. It doesn't matter. It was my phone, and then whatever. It doesn't matter.
Shut mine off.
That's a good idea. We should probably turn off the phones, or at least put on a little sleepy. And the kids are in bed?
Yeah, when I last checked, everybody's like on their way or done. So
yeah, that's exactly how I left the house. I was like, I took a quick shower. I'm like, have a nice night, guys.
Sneak out the back door real quiet, like.
And that's the cool thing about this is like, I was telling Franzi, she's like, why are you doing this podcast? What's the whole like backup of it? I'm like, well, I think indirectly I'm doing it because I want to have like an adult conversation. That's like, because every time we see each other, like it's just on the streets and we both got kids.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, man, cool. Catch you next time. And like, don't eat that. Don't put a snail in your mouth. You know, that's
totally crazy. Yeah. It's panic.
And you've got another, I mean, like I'm seriously like, I think with 3 kids.
I think you're there. You know the flavor.
But having twins, you guys have twins, right? So that's just that, and they're girlies, and they're at that age, and so he's like, well, I always feel like it's like they're in a phase, you know. That's what I always say. Like right now they're in a phase, and then it's like, well, what phase is it now? Because they've been in a phase since for the last 4 years.
It never ends. It just keeps going. And my wife is probably child number 5, and she admits it.
Yeah,
she's not happy about it, but I've got another ball to juggle.
Is that how it is in your dynamic? I mean, I think I'm the kid. Like if
that's good.
I think Franzi's like you, and she has to take care of it because I feel like I'm more of the. But so that's your role that you play. So you're kind of like, okay, everybody, we're gonna all get dressed now and go to school and work.
Yeah, right, Claudia? Right? We're on the boat? Yeah. I'm not ready. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a challenge, man. I never really thought like before having kids. I don't think anybody can really grasp what it is to be a parent until you've actually done it, you know. And I'm not one of those parents, you know, that's like, I have 3 kids, you know, I'm saving the world. It's an egotistical thing to do in a way too. Like when
a lot of people, yeah.
In a way, like when I sit there and I'm playing with my kids, they get so much back, and you have a great time with them, and in the end, like it's typical for us to kind of have this exchange where it's like you complain about it, but in the end, I don't know. I feel like if you can get that moment where you have like a cool vacation, or you get those moments and you're actually present for them, I don't know. It's
tons of payback. It really works out.
It can be. It can. I mean, obviously the diapers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm so ready for that to be gone. Like our little girl's, she's going there. She's like at 19 months, 20 months, and she's looks at the big girl and sees, and so she's learning really fast. And I'm just like, that's cool. So then the diaper thing's gonna be gone, and then so she's just gonna do like the whole 2-year-old thing for a whole year until she's 3, and then I got hopefully like a good space between until she's like 12. Until they're 12. But your girls, they're not like that. They're kind of just always going, huh?
Unfortunately.
Well, but on the other end, on the other side of it, like when they're that crazy and they're that cool, you know that like they're never gonna. I would much rather have that type of child than like the sleeping in the corner, like boring child.
I'm hoping it all works out. All the stress we're front loading now with so many kids at the same time is later gonna turn into like beautiful people that are cool to hang out with. They're fun to talk to. They're smart. They're good travelers. Yeah, we'll see. We're working on it.
Yeah,
it's a mix.
I mean, with the new dude, what's his name again?
Cyrus. Cytron. Yeah, Cyborg.
He's chill, huh? You had mentioned to me like when he first came around that he was like, he's a pretty cool baby. He's chill.
Yeah, he's turned into a little terror overnight.
He watches the girls. He's like, oh, they get away with some shit.
Really, it's true. Yeah, he wants his place in the sun. He'll start screaming and throwing fists and.
But it makes sense, right? Like this is what our little girl does too. Like the smallest one, she's incredibly tougher than all of the other kids were. She has to be. Like she has to kind of.
Yeah, that's it. I was surprised. It turned around. He wants his place. He wants his attention from us, and when he doesn't get it, he'll just start stamping feet, and it turns out cute. And the girls give him some room. It's kind of cool. They don't realize they're just hogging the square.
Yeah.
And then he's like, boom.
The square. Exactly.
Basically.
The square of attention
from
the parents.
And it's cool. Not a lot of competition. There's mutual love between them all. They all hug each other. And
I love that, dude.
Oh, it's cool.
When like the kids all hug each other, when they just do it by themselves, you're like, well, you guys are just loving each other.
Yeah, we didn't have to do anything. It's like,
that's cool.
Yeah, generating itself.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I kind of went off on a rant there, but
it's a good one though. Yeah.
But like how Francie knew Claudia obviously because they're both from the city of Pasewalk. How would you say that in English? Pasewalk. Where do we live, man? We're fucking two Americans in a village of 11,000 people.
Yeah.
Old East Germany.
Farming community.
I mean, how would you describe the city of Pasewalk? I say Pasewalk, and people are like, "How do you say it?" Even Germans don't know how to, when I say it on the phone, they're like, "Spell that for me."
Yeah, I have to listen to the Deutsche Bahn how they say it in Pasewalk.
Pasewalk.
Next on, halt Pasewalk.
Yeah, Pasewalk.
I still can't do it after 12
Pasewalk
years.
Ist eine amtsfreie Stadt im Landkreis Vorpommern-Greifswald. Eine amtsfreie Stadt. What does that mean in English? Amtsfrei. Weil wir zu einem großen Amt gehören. Because like Amt Ugerandertal war das früher. Jetzt ist es Amt Greifswald. Mm-hmm. So you have like it's kind of like the judicial body on top of it is based in Greifswald, in the city of Greifswald.
Okay.
But whatever. So we got like 11,000 people, and it's kind of a cool history. I was thinking about doing like a little thing on the history of Pasewalk, actually, just even for my family back home. Cause
great.
I don't know, or for...
It offers a lot. I'm surprised it's as deep as it is. I mean...
It's old. That's the coolest thing as an American. Like when you're here in these cities, you're like, it's an old fucking city. How old is Pasewalk?
Oh, yeah.
You were just on the Wikipedia site. How old is the city of...
Oh, God. The Slavs were in this area. They settled this in, I don't know, 700, 1100 something. Then 30 Years War was here when we were fighting the British. Horrible wars between here and Sweden.
Oh, yeah. So it was used to be Polish or what?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you do that? Can you just type in EN before Wikipedia and then just take the DE away? It should work.
I think it's really short, unfortunately. We've got to beef this site up here. The Wikipedia site is pretty skinny. So in English.
Pasewalk became a town during the 12th century and was soon a member of the Hanseatic League, which I thought, that's a fucking cool thing. Do you know about the whole Hanseatic cities?
Not really, no. It's
like, so you got like these cars that drive around and they have the license plate of the city. Like you can have PW for Pasewalk, or you have like VG for like Vorpommern, Greifswald. And then like there's a lot of cities that have like an H in front of them. So it'd be like for Lübeck, it'd be like HL. And I'm like, why is it
Hamburg?
H?
Hamburg's HH.
HH. Yeah, it's like, why is it double H, right? And then Rostock, HRO. RO is Rostock with the H. So that's the Hanseatic. Die gehören alle zu hanseatische Städte. And the Hanseatic was like this old... Yeah, thank you, man. Dude,
awesome. Reading our minds.
You gotta do this. They fucking read my mind.
Good man.
So the Hanseatic League, man, we're gonna do some fucking history tonight, was a commercial and defensive confederation of merchant guilds and market towns in northwestern and central Europe, growing from a few North German towns in the late 1100s. The league came to dominate Baltic maritime trade for 3 centuries along the coast of northern Europe. Hansa territory stretched from let's just say it this way, fucking rich. That's why all these cities got so much money, because they're also like, even Hamburg is a city state, right? Mm-hmm. So they're like, we're a city and a state, motherfucker, and we're Hanseatic, and we're balling. They're balling.
Seriously, yep. Running things.
They're running things. Free imperial city. Anyway, so back to Pasewalk, 12th century.
Amazing. We could go in 3 different directions based on that.
So we met each other.
Yeah.
Lead a little bit. I'm kind of just ranting.
My wife, we moved here in 2017. Had no idea what we were doing. I didn't know anybody. I knew a little bit about the town. I had visited a few times. Met my wife here and just knew my mother-in-law, and that was it. Clung to her for dear life. You know, what the hell is going on here? And we had a baby on the way, so a little bit of panic.
That was Cyrus, right? So you guys had the twins, and you had Sophie, right? Is her name?
We had Sophia. She was the oldest. Yeah. She was running things, and then the twins, they were just crazy. A bunch of, what's their reactions? We just, they have a Schulpflicht here. We had to throw Sophia in to school again. She graduated 2nd grade in the USA. And done with that.
Back to 2nd grade again.
And they had school until July, so we had like 3 more weeks of school.
Said she'd go back to
a bunch of weird first reactions like, this is why.
Yeah.
But we, did what we were told, and my wife's like, we gotta hook up with the other American. There's another American in town. I'm like, really? Why?
Why?
Why does more than one person have to suffer than me? No. Okay.
We suffer together, bro.
Yes, honestly, yeah. Glad we hooked up because had no idea.
But we don't see each other very much because we're both super busy, which kind of is like what happens is when you have kids and lives and jobs, and your wife is now studying again.
Yeah.
So it's like now you became a teacher, but this is all I'm fast forwarding. So yeah, that was in 2017, and
we finally met, and it's like, you got to meet this American. He's really cool. And I thought, my thought was like, what's Germans' views of typical Americans? Cowboy hat wearing, chewing gum, chewing, drawl, gun toting, freak. Who knows? That it's just
you never know.
Bad
There's
character.
300 million of us. Like why is it just because like I'm the one guy in That's the fucking weird thing. Like the further you get away from the place that you're from. Like it's like, okay, I'm in California. I'm from California. So if you and I met in Texas for the first time, and you're from the East Coast, from New Hampshire, right?
Yep.
Rhode Island.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Yeah, right on.
So we meet in Texas. We're like, whatever, man. Dude, you're like we're in the middle. So I don't fucking care. Like maybe we just have a nice night and we don't know and we're like whatever. But on the other end, it's like I don't give a shit, right? But if you and I met in the Caribbean, it's kind of like, oh well, we're two Americans in the Caribbean. Like how would you get here? You fly over where? And I flew over there. But then you go to fucking Europe. And it's like, dude, we are homies because
seriously,
not only did we meet in Germany, like we met in this province.
Yeah.
Like it almost feels like you almost feel like the stars have aligned.
Honestly,
because how else is that what
magical,
kind of coincidence is that?
Really, yeah.
But I like I told you, there was actually two other Americans before you, so you're not my first American.
You told that to me, the first time we met, and I was like, really, this place is well visited.
But you're the best one so far.
I appreciate it, man. You're the best too. One of the good reasons for anchoring me here. I never did. No.
Well, maybe he's not here anymore. But last summer he was rocking around. So there's one dude. If you're watching this, bro, learn some German. That's the thing. That's one thing I had to say with you. Like you instantly jumped in the books and like we're learning German.
I tried.
Which shows like for me, it's like an instant. That's what I did too. Because it's like it's the language here, and you just gotta like buck it up, and it's not easy. And I kind of I expected it to be a lot easier. Personally, I don't know how what your thoughts about it were. If you had like a preconceived idea of learning the German language, I was like, it's gonna be like Spanish, or I didn't really pay attention, but 6 months. I thought 6 months I'd be
tops.
It took me like 18 months to like actually get a job interview and like know what I like. Not even then I knew I wasn't doing enough, but it was enough to like they could see that I was putting out the effort. No flow, but it was like I would think I even like kind of used the informal you in the interview. I was like,
what's up, dude?
Well, yeah, kind of like, hey, like not Z. Right. But they like thought it was cute and funny, and I was like, okay, at least it worked in that sense. But so I guess what I wanted to say was that this dude like got kicked out of the army, gave up his American passport or his American citizenship, and just became like an asylum case of And he's like, dude, help me out with German and stuff like that. Yeah, I was like, Volkshochschule, like go to the local.
Oh yeah, great people. Mm-hmm.
That's what I did. I mean, I had obviously my family around me. I think that's one thing that you just like without having my wife's family and my wife, of course, my girlfriend at the time, but like. And then all of her friends, right?
Right.
And they're like, okay, dude, let's, and without that, there's I don't think I would have been able to make it.
Motivation, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, without that support system around you, it's not easy. Like
I had that in Berlin, and I was there for 9 years at this job, and my job was working with Americans and British people. So I had no inclination to learn the language I should have been working on. 9 years.
9 years in Berlin. And like, were you like 100% based in Berlin? Like you never left?
Kreuzberg, yeah. We worked and lived in Kreuzberg. It was fun. I learned a lot. Great people. And the city was just getting off its, post-wall legs. It was really starting to rock.
When were you there?
I got there in 94 and I stayed until 2004. Just the middle.
That's kind of like the badass time to be there, huh?
It was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I was getting a little sick of it. It was getting a little I don't want to say Western, but it wasn't, I thought, as fun as it used to be.
Like in 94 when it was really fresh, like the Wall, 89.
It was crazy, yeah.
And then so like things started pick up in the 90s really, and then you had like this whole techno scene there.
That was it.
And were you in the techno scene or was it?
Heavily, yeah. I ended up working for one of these crazy techno labels. There was a club connected to it, and I was just an office worker for a while, and then it started to branch into DJ stuff. They needed like an ersatz DJ for somebody that didn't come to, and can you play? I was like, yeah, I could do this. Yeah. And then it turned into something that was like I'd work on the weekdays, my normal job, an office, and the weekends coming to places like Pasewalk, which is how I made the first connection.
Did you like go to the
Kakaha?
Kakaha.
That's where I met my wife to be.
KKH.
Yeah, the Kreiskulturhaus house or something. I don't know. It's Kreiskulturhaus. There's a Kakaha in every like East German city. Apparently, there was like this is their Saal, their Festsaal.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that, man. See,
there's a couple websites cool on Kakaha. It's got a sordid past.
He's Googling.
My friend that brought me out here told me. I didn't know my wife at the time.
Oh, they have that
Facebook
site.
Oh, God.
This is 2020 Kakaha. We're talking about 1994 Kakaha. And back then, it's like, what were the kind of who were the DJs back then? Do you have the names even?
I don't know. It was
DJ. Did you have a DJ name?
Well, the guy I was Marc Snow back then too. Nothing.
That's a cool name though. Still, like
people didn't believe it. Like my wife was to be. It's like, no, really, what's your name? And I'm like,
Mark fucking
DJ
Snow.
Marc Snow.
Yeah.
No, really. I'm like.
Yeah.
No.
And since the Game of Thrones
Matt
is like
Johnson.
only bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Like you're just Snow now.
No, I'm Snowman. Yeah. The guy who booked us, his name is DJ Erbse.
Yeah, Erbse.
Erbse's huge.
Yeah,
like
I remember that
celebrity.
again. So that's actually translated to is it Erbse or the Erbsen?
His name's Erbse, but I think it's Erbsen or peas. Vegetables.
DJ
Peas. And he's the local wild guy. And I guess he's still doing stuff in Berlin, from what I understand. But he was running things and putting on parties. Other than that, it was...
shout out to DJ Erbse.
Yeah, I hope he's still rocking stuff. I mean, it's like new wave parties or something. He's bringing in big money, I guess. So
right on.
Good for him.
Was he something that like when the whole thing went down with Berlin Calling? Did you watch that movie?
I did not. No, I've heard about it though.
Yeah, it was for me like as an outsider because I wasn't in that scene, and people told me like Remington, if you watch that, that's kind of how it was. Like it was a good way. Like in Kitebrenner, Paul.
Oh right.
And,
he was around. Yeah.
But isn't Paul the little brother and the older dude is there's two, isn't there? Two. You need a microphone, bro. Yeah. What's who's the older one that did the movie? Because Paul was a little brother, right? I gotta get Eric a microphone because we have him now. I actually have extra microphones.
He's talent in the making.
Kitebrenner, Paul, and Fritz.
Oh, brothers.
Fritz is the brother. Fritz is the younger brother.
Didn't know that. Wow.
And Paul is the guy in the movie.
Wow.
And Fritz, like he was. I didn't even like. I think he was even in New Brandenburg like a while ago.
Huh.
Okay. Anyway,
I've got to see that.
The Berlin Calling, it was typical. Like this whole, they showed the whole drug scene, obviously, because that had a huge role in this whole. But in the end, it was kind of like wasn't after the wall. It was like peace and love and MDMA and like ecstasy kind of a thing. It wasn't necessarily like what you think of when you think of like someone snorting cocaine or something like that, like a Wall Street guy or aggressive. It was more like love and happiness and freedom after this whole socialistic society finally crumbled.
Yeah.
And, like when I came here, that was cool. You already had that in '94 to like 2004, but when I first came here and I came in like 2006, I was like, what? I was like, that shit's still like in the, and people, it's a generation. I'm talking to my father-in-law, and he's like, dude, I raised my kids in that society,
True. Yeah. That was a massive impact. And I think that's what really glued me to that area too. I was just, I lived in New York City before I came to Berlin, and I was there for the music industry. I was in marketing. I did a lot of traveling, and that was the reason we went to Berlin during a love parade.
Love Parade, exactly.
And they thought, well, if you want to work, we were going to become allied to this Berlin company, which I eventually worked for. And they said, if you want to be part of us and be the U.S. distributor for our music, why don't you guys come on over and see this Love? I had no idea what I was getting into. Love Parade. What sounds really weird.
Was it like the first one that they had? Because they kind of started it all right in that time period.
July 94, so it was like the third or fourth year.
Yeah.
And they were still marching. I think this was the last year they went down Kurfürstendamm, like the Broadway of Berlin.
Okay.
Or the 42nd Street. And I was like, freak show. Like, this is amazing. And I quit my job. And I moved to Berlin with a backpack 6 months later, and my then girlfriend.
It just like you were like, that's it.
I was blown away.
I met my girl.
Yep.
What, you met Claudia?
That came later.
Okay, so that was a different girlfriend. Okay.
All right. But at the time, this girl had a German passport as well as an American, one of these multinationals, and
like our kids.
Yeah, it was just one of these weird things where international travel and e-commerce started becoming common, and Berlin had this Germany as a whole had this magnetism, east and west, just kind of healing its wounds and coming together. I was drug free. I was just drinking a lot, but it just really worked for me. And
alcohol is also a drug, Mr. Snow.
Unfortunately, that's what they say. That's what they say.
Yeah,
I'll put that down.
So it really it enamored you from right at the beginning.
Amazing, yeah. I was like, New York City is nothing on this city.
Crazy too, right?
Yeah,
because
that's a lot to say. And I do love New York. I have great New Yorker friends, but when they come here, a lot of those guys.
It's just a different feel. It's a different vibe. It's not necessarily better or worse. It's just a.
That's what I should say. Yeah.
Yeah, like I know what you mean. Like I never lived in New York. I've just only been there for the short trips and stuff. But it just even it's just. Berlin is just Berlin. There's nothing like it in the whole world. I can't imagine that there could be another Berlin anywhere, It's just...
I was one of the first expats in that scene, the techno scene, to move out there. And the New Yorkers that would come and visit me afterwards couldn't blame me. I felt bad. And New York is second to none for a lot of stuff. But when they would come over, it was gratifying to hear from their feedback that I wasn't doing something stupid. Like, what are you thinking? New York is New York. New York.
Yeah.
I'm from,
Yeah.
And they thought, no, this really makes sense. This is amazing. What everybody's doing here with techno and club scenes and what you can do. In New York City, they had like crowd capacity rules, and you couldn't have smoke machines per, so much smoke per cubic meter, and fire alarm codes. I mean, vicious club politics. They'd call the police on each other's parties. Nothing was happening. And in Berlin, you could cut the air with a knife. It was so thick with cigarette smoke, and I didn't smoke, but I thought, this is anarchy.
Feeling when you're partying, you can't fucking see what you're doing. It's awesome.
It was bizarre. So that connected to me as far as something new.
I mean, as far as if you're gonna think about it as if you're gonna party, right? If you're like, tonight we're gonna party. It's 10 o'clock. I love that whole thing where I used to do that in Vegas. I get up around 6 p.m. and by about 10 o'clock, I'm shit, shower, and shave. I would always say, you got to get your
three S's, yeah.
And then it's like, let's go party. And you're clear-eyed, ready to go. Don't eat anything. Eat something little, just eat a little something. And then it's like you're on the floor around 11 or whatever, and it's starting to hit. And then you do that in the States. I mean, unless you're in Las Vegas. Because they don't really, but Las Vegas is just a whole different thing. It's just too fake.
Its own planet,
but it's all just, it's just all too much because in Berlin, it's happening all the time. So if it's a Tuesday night and you go to the right club and it's what's Watergate, or I don't know where the clubs that were working back in the day, what was the name of the club that you used to work at, that was connected to the label?
That was Tresor.
It's still there, right?
Yeah.
You go to fucking Tresor. We can get on the train right now.
Yeah.
And fucking get some techno on
Wednesday night. It's one of the best nights of the week.
It's one of the best nights of the week.
€5 cover charge, and I don't even think they pay the DJs. They call it headquarters. So it's like these no-name guys fighting to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, here it is. Tresor. Look at that fucking website.
They've been there since day one, and they're great people. They run a good shop.
Shout out to Tresor.
Yeah, honestly, the guy running the show, Dimitri.
I'm just name dropping now.
Dimitri Hageman. Yeah, I should give him props. He really he runs things over there. It's a good thing, and he's a good guy too. He's not like a slimeball promoter.
Has he been there from day one?
Yeah. He started off he hit it at the right time and had great ideas, and he's still just an amazing person to talk to.
That's so cool. Like, and that's actually says a lot for someone, because you would think in this industry that it's one of these burnout industries where you just get caught up in the game, and you're just you're doing drugs, and drugs can just wear on you. But if you stay clean, if you stay away from that, and you put it in its place and be like, that's just part of the deal, or even if it's like a recreational thing, but it's like drinking wine, you know. I don't need to like, you know, make the huge table full of whatever. It's just like everything in moderation. And life is not about doing benders every night, even though it's a Wednesday night, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of a hardcore. Like, you go down there and you're like, wait a minute, so what's tomorrow? And they're like, sleeping, you know, or maybe it's like the third day, and it's a different scene, you know.
Totally.
But to go to party, what I wanted to say is, like, in New York, if you started up at 11 o'clock, it's 2. I don't know what time they close. In California, it's 2 a.m. It's time to turn the lights on, and they fucking turn the lights on the dance floor. You're like, dude. Just bright lights.
Yeah, England too. They shut down at about 12. Lights on, and the bouncers are like kicking people out because
like, get the fuck out.
They're soaked. They're totally zonked. So everybody gets in the parking lots in England, where I was, and they do something called glassing. They'll smash a bottle and glass you in the face because that's the thing to do. It's like,
cool.
We were
Thanks,
with these,
bro.
we were Tresor people in England, and they're like, oh, we got to see me play in Leeds, but be careful, don't get glassed. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, or from New York. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
No, and they told me. I was like, that's insane. So it's a whole different culture, shutting down, similar to Vegas, but in New Hampshire, nothing going on. But at 12:30, they kick you out. They stop serving.
Yeah, and that's kind of like even when my wife and I, we did like a second ceremony in California, and okay, my mom's gonna listen to this and she's gonna be like, well, honey, but it was a nice party, you know. And I'm like, yeah, Mom, it was a nice party, but even our like ceremony, you know, it was like 11 o'clock at night. Everyone's just like, oh, you know. And when we did our party here, we partied till 4 or 5 in the morning, you know.
Yeah,
there's like, and it was like everyone, and the old people too
expected it. Yeah,
like they were just part of it. They're like, cool, you know, we're taking off, whatever, you know, like 3:30, all right, you know.
Cool.
And just, it's like, if you're gonna party, then do it that way, or just don't do it at all, you know.
Good
like
point. Yeah,
I don't know,
it's a different mindset.
It's totally a different mindset. And I think that it's in this scene, like having that thick thing of smoke and like going there, and it's just, it adds to the whole I don't know, the whole experience is just what it should be, and Berlin is special for that. Even,
totally.
Even in Hamburg, I don't know, have you been to the Hamburg scene a little bit?
A little bit. It was different.
More rocky, huh? It's like more rock music, I felt like, or like more like alternative, more of like straight edge kind of.
They've got some hip hop, from what I understand, and I went to a couple techno parties, but the scene on the streets is a little weird too. It's just
because of this district, the Reeperbahn. What's it called?
Yeah, the Reeperbahn. They've got their red light thing in the background there, but a lot of sailors running around. It's a little edgier.
Yeah. I was in Hamburg for like a year and a half or 2 years, and we had some neighbors, and the dude was like a drummer.
Oh, wow.
And so he like brought us to one of his shows.
Oh, great.
And it was crazy. It was so fucking loud, dude. I was just like, and he's doing his thing, and it was cool. But I remember one good experience I had there. I actually got to see Moon Boudica.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
And it was like just tiny, like small, you know, and they usually do these huge arenas or whatever. And it was like just one room, and he was and it was nothing like their album, right? Like he's just making music on this, you know what I'm saying? And
wow.
People were just, I was gone. My Fonzie was just like, where were you? You know, I was just by myself, just dancing on the floor all night.
Great.
Know? You ever have those moments? Like,
oh yeah.
Where you just like, this is my world. Like I'm not even here to check out chicks or like, you know,
that's
bullshit
special.
I like bullshitting with my buddies too. You ever have those nights where you have like no voice the next night because you're just sitting in a huge loud club having a full-on conversation, you know?
Yeah, been there. Oh yeah.
But in 2004, so what brought you back? What had you go back to the States? Like, what was your? Was it just kind of like, okay, I'm done with it? 10 years is actually a good stint, right?
It was good. I felt like I was getting old, you know. And I was working. I was taking cash on the weekends for DJ gigs, and there was no kind of like. I thought I was getting nervous because I didn't have any like projection for the future. As an older guy, I thought I'm hitting 34 at the time. I thought, Christ, 401k, what's that? I have no idea. I better get like a real job. On the weekends, you're talking. I had a steady girlfriend, my wife to be, but you're meeting girls in clubs on the weekend, and things are getting crazy. Everybody's drunk, and the kids are 18, 19, if that. And I'm like, I gotta. This is dangerous. I should probably walk away. from this. It's good, but
you got the feeling you're like, it's not my scene anymore, really.
I had a college degree. I should probably do something now.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go to the States. I'd been there for 9 years, and I think the charm of Berlin was starting to wear off. I thought if I stay in Europe, I want to go a little bit more wild. Go to Budapest maybe or Poland. If things don't work out with this girl, let's go teach English in Japan. Hell with it. You know, I'm still young.
Anything, right?
I was open, yeah. So I went to the States.
Yeah.
And brought my wife to be over on a 401, or was it not a 401k? It was some kind of visa, a fiance visa. There's a number for it. We have to apply for it.
Before you even take off kind of thing?
It's all got to get settled on German soil.
Ah, okay.
Then she gets in the mail the permission by the almighty U.S. authorities to, yes, you may marry. Yes, you may come over. She had to go to Frankfurt for a state interview because they couldn't do it in New Hampshire, even though they've got like a green card processing facility in the next state over in Vermont. They said we can't do it here. She's got to go back to Frankfurt. So
it's the joys of I mean, just how many things. It's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Like that's one of those things too. Like the root idea is just to stay together with your wife or your girlfriend and move back home. And it turns into like this huge administrative like heap of But you guys got it figured out.
It came close to just like, I'm going to go to Germany. I think you did the smart thing, stay here and do the whole paperwork. I can't. I don't know if there's an advantage.
No, it's
crazy.
It's insane. No matter what, like even like if I was to take like Franzi and I have gone through that situation before too. Like what happens if we wanted to move back? You know, what would we do? How would you do it? And we had this whole thing that was, I could be wrong because it's kind of like a mix between Googling, going on the United States website, and calling like the person that doesn't give a shit at the embassy. You know, like I have a good one. I have a good story.
Yeah, please.
My passport.
Oh God.
Okay,
it's gonna be.
So you have to, every 10 years, got to redo it, right? And it's connected to my permanent residence permit.
Okay.
Right. So I have one. I have a permanent residence permit because I married Franzi and we stood together for 3 years. After we got married in Germany, after those 3 years, I can be like, thanks, Franzi, for the 3 years. Peace out. I can stay here now. You know?
Cool.
So yeah.
You earned it. Yeah.
I earned those 3 years.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
It's not easy, man. They don't make it easy here. So,
no. But the thing is, it's connected to my passport. So like when my passport starts to run out, I have to get a new one. So here I am in Germany, living my life, and I'm like, okay, time for a new passport. So what do I need to do? You know? I don't know. Well, I call the embassy and there's a list, and then you go on the website and you can see all the things that you need to do, fill out the forms, whatever. That's no big. It wasn't actually too big of a deal. The problem is that I had to pay. My mom knows this story because she had to literally write me a personal check from her bank account.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mommy, that I got my at the age of 37 almost. You were able to pay my $110 fee because the United States government wants the money to come. It has to come. It can't be in cash. I couldn't even go down to my bank and like give me dollars and I send it to the embassy in Berlin. Like even the embassy in Berlin or in Frankfurt is like, dude, it needs to be a check and it needs to be from an account that's based in the United States. I'm like, I don't have a United States bank account anymore. I just don't have it. Like I used to have one. Well, I mean, there could be a reason why I just don't. I haven't had one for like 10 years. I used to have one and I used to transfer the money back and forth and you just pay these stupid fees for like the and I was like, well, what's the point? I make money. My money that I make is in euros. So I just have my German bank account and he's like, yeah, I'm like 2000. It was 2019 at the time. It was like last summer. I was like, PayPal, you know, like it's kind of like an American company, right? He's like,
Elon Musk founded it.
Elon Musk, you know, that's a boy.
But
he's like, no, sorry, dude. It needs to. So I have to call my mom, and she had to send me a check to Germany, and then I had to like send that, and then with all the other things like the photo and the application form, and I had to send my fucking passport to them, my original one. So here I am.
did too. Yeah.
So I'm here, and I can't even like if I go to Poland sometimes for training, you know, and I was like in Poland, and they control you, you know, they're like, hey, what are you doing, American boy driving from Pasewalk to Stettin, you know, to this to the really nice city, but And so I had made a photocopy of my passport so that I took it with me. And so then I had like the whole stories, and like I even had like the receipt for like sending it to the embassy with me. I'm like, I gotta take that shit with me, because if they fucking control me, before they figure that out, I'm gonna be in like a 48-hour holding cell. Just because the United States government can't accept electronic payment for in 2019 for a passport
for your convenience.
Yeah, it's like $110 fee, which is like, okay, that's is what it is. That's doable. But like, anyway, what we were talking about before I went on my rant again.
We're going on.
I got to take some shit to calm me down. I'm just rambling, man.
No, it's good. It's good. The trials and tribulations of international relationships.
Yeah, because you went over there with Claudia, and it was kind of hard at first. You guys had like you had to wait 6 months before you could go, or how was it?
Yeah, it was like we waited almost. Let's see. She came over in 2007, February 2nd. We flew over there on a fiancé visa. She couldn't enter the country, or at least we couldn't marry over there legally. She'd have to have this invitation. So we're waiting around for an official invitation from the U.S. Embassy to get a facial recognition. They check her thumbprint to make sure this girl is the same girl that applied. Okay. And we had to front load that application with loads of translated love letters and really invasive shit. Affidavits from my German.
I'm not going to go into detail there, but I definitely can.
Bizarre.
So, honey, yeah.
Proof of relationship. And you had to really go deep. Canceled flight tickets, flight itineraries, photos, and dated photos, and what was going on, who's in the photo, when was this taken, where.
I get it. So it's like that you're not faking this whole thing so that you can stay there.
Yeah, just a big
But what's this whole mail order bride thing?
Yeah.
So that's
an industry in its own.
So they just like produce all that shit fakely then?
I guess so. Yeah, while my legit bride-to-be, or we had married at that time, but she was taking English classes. She was convinced to work as a nurse over there. She's trained here, but the credentials weren't really translating over there. Well, they're like, what is this? And like, no, this girl's high-tech. You can work with her. Oh, well, and she said, I got to take this English. They're looking at their stupid manual from the 70s.
Yeah, like, does not compute.
Yeah. So she had to get like a GED, like an equivalence of a high school diploma. Yeah. So she's going to take English classes to get that up there. And she met all these like Asian women from Polynesia and I don't know, Philippines.
Okay.
These mail order brides.
Yeah. And they're doing the GED together.
And yeah, she said they're all waiting and we're waiting for their husbands and partners to show up and pick them up after school. And they're all sharing their stories. And they're like, oh yeah, it's weird. And they're like, oh, why did you get married? Oh, and she's like, oh yeah, my husband and I, and we're in love. And she said, and they're like, oh, that is so nice. You married for love. Oh, what a foreign concept. And she told me, I thought, the world is so upside down. We really sweated blood to get her in the country legally. And we went through, I don't know if it was because she's from a formerly Warsaw Pact country that she went under the magnifying glass a lot longer than I thought, or if I was in Berlin for a while under the radar and they thought, well, maybe this guy's a spy. Yeah. Let's triple filter these two.
Yeah, you're definitely a spy, bro.
Oh, man, I look suspicious, and all those translated love letters have got to be forged. It was just really weird, so.
We're both spies. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah. So
that's crazy though.
Yeah, but that almost tore us apart. Like, it's
stressful for a relationship, right? Like the whole thing adds like another layer of complexity on top of like we just want to get down and have a good time.
I can understand one side of it. The State Department doesn't want anybody. They don't want to pay like for anybody's misfortune. Like if she shipwrecks financially, it's like I have nowhere to go. Yeah. Here I am. Pay for my medical bills.
Yeah, but on the other side of it, like if you think about. It's just obvious, right? Because how many things do you hear about what happens even in Germany, and if you switch it around, because you actually you immigrated to Germany.
We had to do the same thing,
and I had to do the same thing, and people would always like a lot of friends and family that would hear what I'm going through, which is the same. It's just the same. It's a different exact story, but it's just like more work than it should be. Let's just draw that line there
for normal people.
Yeah, and on top of like actually having to live your life, and so. People would always be like, yeah, but that's just that's just how the Germans are. And I'm like, well, I think like when you tell me that story, it's like, no, it's not just a German thing. Yeah. It's just a general, but at the same time, like this immigration that's so tricky for people that are really want to work, want to pull their line and do all that. But if I just come over illegally and don't tell anybody, I can stay there for 20 fucking years. And no one says shit. And I just make cash and don't pay any taxes.
Yeah.
And nothing ever happens.
Isn't that funny?
I mean, I worked in the restaurant industry, and like California, make no mistake about it. Like without these illegal immigrants in California, have a good time. Like they're the backbone of the what's the industry there, the fruit and like the I can't even. Oh, my English is so terrible.
No, farming.
We need to talk about this more. Yeah, they're the backbone of the agricultural industry of California, right?
New York City restaurants.
It's just like without these dudes washing dishes, doing all the jobs that like this little pretty boy doesn't want to do.
Right.
You know, these industries wouldn't be
making money.
But at the same time, Claudia, you know, she came and she had a full-on high school diploma in Germany, which is like a 13-year diploma at the time. So like I'm looking at what my cousin or my niece right now is studying. She's 18. And I'm looking at the stuff that she's studying. I was like, dude, I didn't even have that in college, you know?
I know.
And then she was a nurse on top of that in Germany, right? Mm-hmm. So she's a certified nurse in Germany.
Highly qualified. Goes back to the United States, and they're like, well, you need a high school diploma. Yeah.
Before you can. And then was she able to become a nurse afterwards?
She could, yeah.
Okay. So she was able to, then after that, like, okay, cool. The gates are open. You can now. Was she but not a registered nurse? It was like kind of a different level, right?
I think that came.
It's a crazy credential to have, right?
It is. She had the chops, but I think like you, we were victim of looking online, and these guys said do this and this manual.
And nobody
from the 70s.
Fucking knows anything. That's the thing. No. Nobody knows, right? There's a Facebook group actually that I got into.
I'm sure.
Like these days, they're like these people are helping each other. It's like you and I are sitting down there helping someone else doing the same problems that we went through. You know?
It's crazy. Thank God for the internet, because
sometimes
I don't know how they did it earlier, but you're fighting to survive, and people have these similar stories, and they're actual. It's not like this happened 10 years ago and they've changed the rules since, but it's like, oh, last week this happened to me. Don't let this happen to you.
Yeah.
Mutual support groups, but she's speaking with New Hampshire nurses, and they're like, well, it says here, and they're speaking English, perfectly clear. Yeah, you have to take an English test.
Well, I mean,
really? All right.
Yeah,
I that could be a problem.
English, but she probably learned it pretty quick, huh?
Yeah. That's why she was doing that GED thing. Passed with flying colors, top of the class. And then it was like, oh, now you need a credential, double filter, triple check from this company in Miami, Florida, which spoke volumes. Like, oh, really? These guys are the experts on this? Okay, for New Hampshire Board of Nursing. Gotcha.
Okay.
Pay them the fee. Get the credential. Okay, now we can work as an RN. She worked out great.
Right on.
She loved it.
Yeah.
She went through a couple jobs, and then I got to say, the first 5 years, she didn't like living in New Hampshire. Which is weird.
First 5 years, man.
It took 5 out of 10 years. After half time.
She didn't like it.
One day she came.
A special type of person.
Yeah. Well, she's just, I don't know if it's like what we might refer to as German inflexibility or lack of
just like hating it, but just grinding through that shit.
Yeah,
that's German.
Like, even like road rules she couldn't understand, like 4-way stops.
Yeah.
In Germany, we do this.
The person on the right goes first every fucking time in Germany. What's this whole like? It's like, no, I was there first, motherfucker. I'm going first.
And you kind of wink at each other.
I don't even brake at the stoplight. I just go first.
Hand motions and this does not work. Does not compute.
Right. Don't you love those differences sometimes though?
Oh yeah.
You can write a fucking book. I mean, I'm sure someone already has about just these like tiny little differences. They can go on for days.
At 5 years, it clicked. I think she was driving down the street and listening to some music, window down, road trip kind of thing. And she's like, this is actually fucking okay. Yeah. I like it here. Yeah. I like my life. And then she didn't want to leave it, which was kind of cool. I thought, all right, she's really into it. We had 3 kids, and number 4 is on the way. She's a few months pregnant, and things started to get kind of crazy. Like, how are we going to do this? And school shootings were on the rampage, and
that's
headlines.
That's the one crazy thing about the States, huh?
Shite. And I thought, I have no response. I have no rebuttal for this. Like, it's going to be okay, honey. We haven't had a shooting in our school.
Was she pregnant at the time?
Yeah.
That's hard.
She said, let's go back to Germany.
Reason with a pregnant woman about the safety of your children.
I'm there. I had a full-time job. I was traveling all the time, and I thought, well, we haven't had a mass shooting. There was one in Connecticut, which is a couple states over from New Hampshire where I lived. but the weapons laws were just as crazy as everywhere else. I thought, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be all right. I can't guarantee anything right now. It's so
there was
nuts.
a bad wave, huh? There's always kind of like a bad wave.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
Too many guns.
Yeah, and that was I had no like Kampfmittel. I had nothing to
Kampfmittel. Yeah.
To tell her like
nothing to fight.
The
with.
U.S. Mental health. People are taken care of here. I know that people get their mental health they need. The weapons laws filter out all the crazy people. There's nothing going on there. Every person that had a machine gun was a nutcase and wiping kids out. And I thought with 3 kids in school, what are we gonna do?
It is crazy, I mean, I grew up with guns, like full on, and I have a positive relationship to guns. But since I've been in Germany and since I've had children in Germany, I've never had to actually have to like face this dichotomy in my head, like this double-sided thinking that I have, because obviously I think like that too as a parent. Right? Like,
all of a sudden, before it was not a problem, and now it's
I can't even fucking watch a movie where a kid gets hurt anymore, and I'm like, oh, poor boy, what happens to the parent, and like everything. But now but the other side of it is like I grew up with my dad taking me. I mean, okay, so all of the fathers in my life are gonna watch this, so like you have to kind of say what dad was that.
Gotcha.
But my like Mark is for me like he was my he was with my mom from like I don't know, I was thinking like kind of kindergarten, first grade-ish, all the way to high school, and then we've always stood in contact,
Oh, cool.
So and he's
key years too.
Yeah, full on, like you have like, and my biological dad, we always had a relationship even during that time, obviously, but he was for me like this like we'd go on the weekends and we'd go shooting, just like me and him. He was a Department of Fish and Game Wildlife.
Oh, cool.
He retired, but so that was his. It was just like as a boy, he was like a glorified Boy Scout, with a gun, right?
Yeah.
And he was the kind of dude, like a lot of those guys are like hunters and stuff, and he wasn't really much. He was never a hunter, but he was a shooter. He liked to go out and shoot targets and.
Cool.
And he at 10 years old, there's a picture of me, and I got like a .357 Magnum, and he's teaching me. This is the first gun that I learned to shoot on, and I just remembered like those are moments I've had with my dad are like so bonding.
Wow. Yeah.
So when someone says to me that like guns are the problem, I think well that's kind of a hard thing to say because. Like my father taught me so well about guns that I didn't even trust my own buddies.
Oh, cool.
You know what I mean? Like when my friends would come over, because he would confiscate from other hunters, he would confiscate their rifles and stuff, and he would catch them hunting illegally in the Angeles mountain range in Los Angeles is where we lived at the time.
Nice.
So there's like dudes up there, and so he has to keep them in his closet before like until it goes to court.
Wow.
Because it's like evidence, So you could go in this closet any given day of the week and open up. There's like 15 rifles just sitting in the corner,
It's like every kid's dream. Like,
and my buddies, dude, they're like, Dad, your dad's Fish and Game one. Like, well, show me the fucking goods, I was like, yeah, and I would just
hell
be like,
yeah,
yeah, and I was like, no, I don't. Even like my best buddy Tim, like I was like, all right, well, I'll show you, but we're not touching shit because I know like he's gonna grab it and just be like. Whoa.
Yeah, Tim.
I know Tim Smith.
Is he watching?
It's a very American name, Tim Smith.
Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith.
Right.
I think he's living in Idaho now. But anyway, like the whole thing with that was that like, the dad said to me, the gun is always loaded. All these cool things, and it's kind of like the survival thing too, right? Yeah. It's kind of like I was talking to my son the other day. I was like, "You want to like go learn how to shoot a bow and arrow?" He's like, yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There's something about that. But but obviously in the big picture, when you see the school shootings and stuff, like how it's just a different argument,
Totally. Yeah.
And I don't know if
that's the way you grew up is the way it should be. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's cool. Yeah. As a kid, I work with kids now, and they're telling you, what do you find better, the USA or Germany? I'm like, well, one bad side is, as a kid, I thought machine guns were awesome. I'm Baujahr 70, 1970 born, so Rambo is a big thing, and
our chicks in bikinis is like,
seriously,
I fucking love those videos.
Yeah. What's better than one M60 machine gun? It's two. Like Sly Stallone. Yeah, bum, 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 bum. I always wanted that in high school. Fuck yeah. Nobody's going to fuck with a kid with two M60s.
Yeah.
It's different when you have kids. So it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a huge argument. And it's interesting to see where the States goes with that now. What I liked about Berlin, I think, and what kept me kind of there is there was the big 1. Mai Krawallen. They had these May Day riots, literally, and they'd burn cars and garbage bins were on fire, and it was big.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Demonstration, right?
Yeah, like communist people are in there, or anarchists, and
pull it up, man.
1. Mai demos.
Yeah.
Berlin, Kreuzberg, and it was a big fucking thing. Thousands of kids come from all over and just have these. They're just pissed off, and there's a parade, the demonstration itself, and then what goes on after that? It's like
Kreuzberg.
Yeah, they burned down a mosque apparently one year, not religiously related apparently.
So I was going to ask you that. Like, is it for the left?
Yeah, I can't really tell you. I was observing it from an American point of view, but yeah, you can see pictures of burnt Skalitzer Strasse. This is all. That's right. The Bolas supermarket on the right. Sorry, Eric. Yeah, typisch. That's where we have work for us, man. We've got to really teach the folks out there.
Yeah.
But anyway, the tendency to violence, German style, where the cops are getting rocks and stuff thrown at them, and cops are getting helicoptered out of there because they're wounded. Yeah. They're tearing up the cobblestone streets, the demonstrators, and throwing
them at the cops.
And guys are getting seriously, and you see them in their riot gear.
Like bloody.
It's serious, like more football than football. It's like these big throat protectors and armored helmets. Yeah. And little girls that are like police are like these like RoboCop, and I'm like, holy shit! And I'm taking pictures, and they run up to me like, "What the fuck is that?" Datenschutz, and I didn't understand what they're saying, but from the hand signals, it's like I'm not supposed to take pictures of the demonstrations. Because shit, didn't know. But they didn't beat me down. I didn't get shot. I didn't get arrested, and it was like this tolerance that even though these guys are getting Molotov cocktails, and you can see what's going on, it's pretty crazy. Back then, it was kind of unique. They're pissed off as hell, but the cops were cool.
Yeah, that's kind of the weird thing when you like never have been outside of the States and you see pictures of that happening in Europe. You're like, fuck, bro.
Serious throwdown. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's because when that shit happens in the States, everyone's got a goddamn gun.
Yeah, people getting tear gassed and
yeah, but like when that happens here, like you said, it's like the worst thing that happened. Like maybe some knives. And maybe maybe out of that huge crowd of like, I don't know, 50,000 people, or I don't know how big the demonstrations are, but like there might be 2 dudes with a gun just randomly, and they're never going to use it. They probably no guns. Like literally.
That's the thing.
Only the cops have the guns, and they're not even fucking using them. Maybe even the cops don't have guns.
I lived in New York City, and the cops are pretty cool, but in New Hampshire, hometown, you're running around late at night. They're gonna bother you. The cops will pull up. What are you doing? And what's your thing? And it's like, why are you fucking bothered? It's New Hampshire in the middle of the night. I'm going home. Get the fuck off my back. And they're like, they hassle you because they're just bored.
Yeah.
But the worst that can happen is, guys, they're medevacing. Police officers are wounded from these stone throwers. Molotov cocktails are going off. Cars are burning.
Yeah.
Absolute anarchy. And then the worst thing happens that the Germans bring it, the tolerant Germans, they hit the tipping point, and the cops bring out the Wasserwerfer.
Yeah.
These like water cannon trucks, which sounds silly.
Yeah.
But it's pretty serious. But that
shit will fuck you up.
And that's when the anarchists kind of run away.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's cool. Yeah. I mean, 39 police officers wounded, 44 arrested.
Yeah. I mean, like that's one thing, like being a cop and being a police officer, whether you're a regional or you're like a kind of like on the state level. No, thank you. I know. No. That was something that really got me from the very first. That was like really astounding to me. Being in a park one time in Berlin. We lived in Berlin at the time when I first, like probably the first couple of years.
Oh, cool. Here.
Yeah, I actually, when I look back at it, I could have definitely gotten more out of that situation. I was so busy with myself trying to just do the language thing. But anyway, we had like a cool afternoon. We're at a park, and there's like this. It's next to a residential area on the Spree, like on the river there, right? And so we like we encroached this space that you're not supposed to encroach. There's like a certain boundary that even in the park itself where you're not allowed to do your barbecue because it's too close to like the residential area, which I think is like 50 meters. And it was so busy. The park was so busy and stuff. And so we just kind of like fuck it, we're just going to be like halfway in the middle, and people were already kind of pushing the line. And so we were out there and we had and one of the dudes had a dog with him. And so sure enough, two like on foot officers just kind of cruising by, and they kind of like, we knew they kind of saw us, and they were like, okay, here they come, right? Like this,
the man,
the car, yeah. And I'm like, both of my parents, like, my mom became a CHP officer, California Highway Patrol officer.
Oh wow!
When I was in like freshman year of high school, and then she married a CHP officer short after that.
Yeah.
Craig is my father, number 3
after high school.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Well, in high school basically.
Oh.
And we moved up to Northern California, but it was just like, that was my household as a high school kid, right?
Wow.
So like, I always had a different relationship with officers. Obviously, like I was kind of more on this like, I respect them, but I know they're people too, because I saw that at home.
Yep.
And so I just kind of had like I've always had, and in general, I think in the United States, you have a general fucking respect for the popos.
I do. I certainly do.
Like,
it makes sense. You don't want to tangle.
Don't want to tangle. They have a hard job, and they can have a bad day. And I mean, you see enough shit, and like, even as a white boy doing his white boy things, like I've had my run-in with the local cops in high school and stuff, and I was always able to kind of just be nice and not, I always just did what I was told. Like, they asked me for my fucking driver's license. I'm not going to be like, fuck you, man.
Why?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, it'd be like,
it makes sense.
That's kind of like a hard, like, I'm not going to get anywhere with this guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's, that's just logic to me. But
Run.
So we're sitting here we're sitting at this park. My friend and this dog starts to bark at these cops because they're kind of walking up and encroaching our space. And the dog, whoa, and the guy's just like, "What the fuck are you doing, man? You're getting my dog all pissed off," like saying that all in German, of course. But he's like, "Leave, like, just go, get away. My dog's gonna bite you," And the cops are like, "All right, we're cool," and they walked away. I was like,
wow.
"What the fuck?"
Yeah, I know.
We didn't even move.
I need backup here. We got a wild dog.
They were just like, "Fuck it." They kind of like looked, they kind of did the whole thing. They're like, yeah, whatever, just clean up the grill and whatever, And I was like,
cool.
I looked up Franzi, I was like, you guys are fucking bad. Like, you guys, how do you talk to cops? She was like, oh, they're not going to do anything,
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, fuck that job. Like, that's even worse,
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, well, maybe that's a cooler job because then at least that no one's got guns or anything. So maybe you're just generally chiller. Like, is it
That's the way I saw it.
Yeah.
The riot cops weren't carrying heat. And I thought, that's cool. Nobody beat me down for taking pictures. I didn't know.
Yeah, they just kind of give you a soft warning, like,
shit, I'm sorry.
Dot and schutz.
It looked awesome. You guys are badass, but
yeah.
I don't know. I think they know that it's taken down a whole knot, the whole aggression thing. It's like, if they know you're not carrying, or they're pretty sure you're not carrying.
If you don't have to fear for your life, you're gonna deal with situations more level-headed because you don't have to think like in high school, I was like 16, 17 years old, and we were throwing firecrackers out the car window at like the girls' houses where we knew they lived.
Hell yeah!
Ever like that's like
that was awesome.
Yeah.
Why are you in high school? Why not? You have a license?
Yeah, like the one dude had a license, so we all jumped in the car and got these little cherry bombs and fucking throwing them out the window.
Hell yeah!
And then we like let them explode, like just watch it explode and then drive off. Ah, yeah.
Awesome.
So, but like the fourth time we did it, like the first house we hit, we didn't really realize that like the girl's mom is a parole officer.
Oh, nice.
Right? So she thinks she's getting a fucking retaliation gunshots or something.
Oh, geez.
And calls the local cops on us. And like, we didn't know this, and we had parked the car, like the second car, from my other buddy. We had
Smart.
Parked
getaway
it.
vehicle.
Like, it was so obvious that it was, so like the cops just posted out this car and waited for us to come back later at the night. So we were done with it. We had like done 4 houses. We come back. They pull us all out of the car at gunpoint. Like, they came up on us.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh, and like, passenger. I was in my buddy's truck, and it was like such a movie, It's like a black truck, and it's lowered down. And Shane, you got to watch this shit, man, because you know this story. We were sitting there in passenger,
the Remington gang,
and it was like, it was an older, like an '85 Sonoma, but like it was a badass truck. And it wouldn't start right away, right? So we were like, we're going to get away. We get in there and fuck the cops in the car, and it's like, won't start. And then the fucking cop comes right behind us, puts his light on, and then boom, and it starts. I'm like, Shane, and he's like, dude, should I fucking go?
Oh, Shane, don't go.
I'm like, dude, just turn off the car. Passenger of the black vehicle, put your hands out the window. Driver of the, turn out, we're like, put the hands out, And then our parents had to come and pick us up. And so my mom at like 3 in the fucking morning, dude, and like we're laying on the concrete, like on the floor, like on the, just on the street with our hands all, and they just did the whole routine with us, They taught us a fucking lesson. And it's like, I get it, because like in Germany, you would never think it was guns. You would just be like, that's fireworks.
Yep.
But the woman, she just went instantly to that level. Maybe even that week she had some crazy case where some guy was like going to retaliate, or you never know what happens in this mom's mind. And so she's like, she calls her fucking homeboy, like I got gunshots at the house. Like there's probably, and so they just were like code 4 on, or sure. Code 3, code 5. I don't know, a bad code. Code 4, I think, is chilling out.
Okay.
But they were, and that's the downside of guns. Like when I see stuff like that, it's like,
everybody's operating up here already.
Yeah.
Traffic stop, and you run a red light by accident.
Yeah.
And it's like, get out of the car, and they're calling back up 3 cars.
You pulled out at gunpoint,
Oh, shit. I'm so fucking sorry.
And it's weird to be at the other end of that shit. I don't know. It's like, it's one of those feelings. It's like.
Yeah, I don't tell the kids too much. That the kids I work with, I teach English, and
that's a cool thing that you do here. So you actually now have gotten you used to work in New Brandenburg, and now you're in Pasewalk, and you're working as an English teacher.
Yeah, I'm trying to spread the good word. I think if they don't want to,
you're preaching the word.
Well, it's weird because here I am. My German's got accents to it, so they're like, "What's he saying?" And sometimes they laugh when I say stuff, and I'm fine.
Yourself,
I'm cool. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Not like a lot of teachers, but I try to do my thing and I roll with it.
That's cool.
And I get asked a lot, like, and I try to spread like diplomacy, because English, which is weird, is like math and German here. They call it a Hauptfach. So these are the 3 grades you need to graduate school. If you can't,
I didn't realize that.
It's weird. It's a heavy burden.
Yeah.
If you can't graduate English, you don't get your diploma.
Wow.
So a lot of kids are looking at me like,
you're our savior, man.
I'm the man, but I'm there to help you guys, and let's learn a little bit about other cultures, and and I'll spread the word. And they're like, well, what do you like better, America or Germany? And it's like,
yeah, it's so you can't just
can't
weigh it like that.
There's no math. Yeah, what do you mean, like West Coast, East Coast? You're from California, totally different.
It's a total different feeling
than small town New England where I come from. So, big country, big problems. I tell them, and my 9th graders get a kick out of it. I'm like, here, let's do it.
I was going to ask you, like, what grades are you teaching? Yeah, so
5 through 9. And there's a 10th grade class, but they're already hooked up with other teachers. But
that's a pretty big range of difference in
maturity.
Age. Yeah.
And, the Germans, as we know, they come a little bit more mature for it, I think, like as far as tolerance with the law. And, you just don't throw cherry bombs out. Or if you do, it's not a gun. Yeah. So the youth that I'm dealing with, they're like, so what do you like better? I'm like, well, let's do a random traffic stop. In Germany, what happens?
Okay, so you give them like a situation.
Yeah, and like, well, here's the German VW bus, gets in front of the car that's going too fast, and has a little light that says pull over.
Yeah.
And they pull over, and the cop stays in front of the Corvette or the AMG Mercedes that gets pulled over, and it's all kind of nicely hashed out. Why did I stop you, and this and that? Okay, so I get a volunteer from the audience. I sit her down. Usually, okay, don't move fast. Don't run into the glove box. We talk about the translate. What's glove box mean?
Yeah, Handschuhe. Fuck.
Yeah, don't go for your gloves. Your Handschuhe. You're gonna get shot because I'll be the officer, and there's my partner Eric's over here. He's on the passenger side with his gun on his hand in his holster.
Shining the light into your fucking eyes.
It's nighttime. Everybody's had a drink, and you just go through it. And I actually did. I had to walk the line in college once. I had a black eye. I got in a huge fight, and I was wasted. And he made me walk the line, do the alphabet backwards. This guy wanted me so bad, and I passed everything just
by
the grace of God. And he let me go. Like, get the fuck out of here.
You fucking pass all the tests.
So
let's go.
I give him the test. So. Speaking from firsthand experience, like this is how it is in the States. So if you ask me what's better, I'd rather have the German experience where they're kind of like cool rather than, are you drunk? I'm not fucking drunk. Yes, you are. I'm not.
Yeah.
deer hunter mode. It's a little weird. So that's one, and they laugh. It's supposed to be good humor, but they're like, they can't believe you have to walk a line. I have my duct tape. I put it down in the classroom.
Yeah.
Close your eyes, touch your finger to your nose, count, and do the alphabet in English backwards. And they're like, I'm like, here we do. We have a song. We do it.
That's cool. You make like a whole game out of it, and then they're learning English the whole time. They don't even realize it.
They're swallowing a bitter pill with a lot of jelly on it. So
that's cool.
So hopefully it's working.
It's a tough school, right? I mean, it's Oststadt, right?
Oststadt, yeah, former like real.
Eric, what's up? Everything cool? Oh, okay. Can you get me a beer, bro? Thank you. I don't know. You have to talk now because
It's a tough. It's weird. Luckily, I have the comparison of my previous employment in a city an hour away, New Brandenburg. It's another like fortress city, medieval brick walls, towers, turrets, like awesome like stuff in the USA you wouldn't have it.
Can you turn off the GoPro too? Sorry, bro.
Pasewalk has the same like, I don't know, city makeup, city walls, old fortress that used to get fought over by the Swedes and the German Hanseatic tribes are working with this.
Yeah.
But the kids, the chemistry there is a lot different than here.
In New Brandenburg, it's more mixed. Huh? You just got more, and probably a little bit. I don't want to put like Pasewalk in a bad light.
You're right.
But it's just a little bit. Even though like New Brandenburg's got no, I don't want to say no. God, now
I didn't know.
That's the thing. Like I'm not going to say
now
what
we've got some audience here.
No, yeah. Like if I was in a room with you right now and there was no one else listening or watching, I'd probably say something about New Brandenburg. But I just know that the thing about New Brandenburg is what I've been told is that it's kind of just more of a. It's more just. I guess there's actually a history of it. Like it wasn't. The city kind of wasn't a naturally occurring city. Do you know that, Eric? Do you need a microphone, bro? I need some German, especially when we do this German. Anyway, I interrupted you. Just keep going. So you're talking about Pasewalk and like Oststadt. And
the chemistry is different. Where I worked in New Brandenburg was also Oststadt, so East City, and I think this is the history is. The city got bombed out, and the Russian occupying forces had to find place for these displaced people. So I will just build a city to the east.
Yeah.
And it was like a heavy industrial corridor. The whole railroad worked out of there, and then it all kind of collapsed once the wall came down. Yeah. Western companies bought up the stuff and basically put everything to rest.
Okay.
Tons of people left. So a lot of upset people. I didn't look forward to working there. I didn't regret.
You knew it was
going to
be definitely challenging, huh?
I thought this is crazy, but I got to do something. I'm going to go crazy if I stay home anymore. So,
and New Brandenburg was also like 45-minute thing every time, and
it was 2 hours. We had a newborn at home, and I wasn't there for 2 hours or over 10 hours a day. And he just grew up before I knew it. So I thought, let's move here. The kids have got to be easier to work with, right?
Well, no. I mean, the thing is, that's crazy about it for me, like from an outsider perspective, is like the kids aren't the ones to blame, right?
That's the thing.
That's kind of like the tricky thing. It's always like, it's kind of cool that at least you can be there for 45 minutes a day. Or I don't know how many hours you have each group.
Yeah, it depends.
But you can be like this example of like someone that's got their shit together and kind of show them what's up, because maybe they don't necessarily get that at home.
I'm trying to be that,
but it's easy to say, right? For me, like I've never taught a class.
That's the goal. Yeah, I don't think they know that, but that's my hope. I'm kind of sneaking in this message of hope that things can be good. You can travel the world, get a couple languages under your belt, and do what I did, which wasn't. I'm not the perfect example.
You seem like you've had
I tried.
You don't regret?
No. I
had a good life so far. Keep on moving.
I have no regrets. It's been good. The kids, that some of them are really hard spots, and it's interesting that I live in Berlin and I see this part of Germany, and now it's like I'm on this. I don't want to. What? How do you? It's like an incubator. This is where big Germans are little. Yeah. And this is where these crazy thoughts, where I had these advanced thoughts of, wow, cool people in Berlin. This guy's doing this, and this person's doing that, and this guy's got a restaurant. Wow, they know about American history more than I do. Some of them, it's weird. And I'm like, wow, respect. And they know English better than I know German. And fuck, something's wrong. And now I'm in their woods and how things are growing up, and I have a hand in that. So it's kind of fun to be from that side. It's a tough one. Some kids in this area, they're frustrated.
Yeah, parents are frustrated too.
Yeah, and they get this message of like coronavirus.
Yeah,
foreigners.
Coronavirus.
The foreigners are bringing in coronavirus, and this is the latest thing. We went to winter vacation last week.
Yeah.
Now the kids are back, and that's the hype. They're all scared of getting corona.
Brought it back or whatever.
Yeah, and they're looking at me like, "Did you go to the USA? Did you bring corona?" And they're laughing and we're high-fiving. I'm like, wow, this is going on at your house right now. You guys are really scared of foreigners bringing in this.
Yeah.
So it's a little weird. I stay out of it. I didn't go to the States. I didn't travel. But I'm here with you guys, and we're going to sit this through. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah, I just kind of give like this energy of like just try and focus on the problems that you can actually solve. Like, like the whole don't waste your energy on things that you're not going to change anyway.
True.
I don't know. It's tricky though. Like I see that in my own life, and it's easier usually to see it in other people. But I know that I do the same thing. Like I have like these moments where I'm just like trying to change something that like there's probably no shot in a million years that I can change it. But I'm still like frustrated. I'm still like grumbling about this thing in my life that I just realized like, wait a minute, like there's no, I don't know, like. The tendency to kind of complain about politics, right? Which I'm not even going to go there really. No. But politics is a perfect example because you have like on the outside, you see everything and you think you can do it better. But like, I've never heard of anyone come up to me and be like, I got the better solution, bro.
Yeah. Right.
So that's kind of like, why don't you just be a little bit more solution oriented and just kind of give, like if you're gonna talk trash all day, that's cool, and that can let off steam and whatever. I've been to many places, like many parties at the end of the night, or like we go to like these Dorffest. What do you call that? It's like a little local village festival with the fire, like a bonfire or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, you're the American, so what the fuck's up? What's up with Trump?
And they've had a few that drink too, and they're
and I'm like, well, I'm right now. I'm here.
I've been here.
I'm having an adult, like I said, like earlier, like with this whole podcast. I'm having an adult conversation, and I don't want to spend this little hour that I might have before I go back home,
right,
or go to sleep and wake up and and be with kids, which I love. But like this hour that I have as an adult alone with my wife or with my buddies, I'm not gonna spend it on politics.
No,
because I've got cool other things. I got way more positive, cool things. Like
stay out of it.
There's honestly so many cool things in this world, man. And if politics, we need it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
And if there's like a better way to do it, then tell me or help me or like. Or I was talking to my buddy the other day. That's just jumping into politics himself, and he was just like I see it for what it is. I try and do what I can do. I'm helping out where I can help out, and that's all you can do. He's like, it's still though. He has to constantly like tell himself like to not go down that route of
gotta be hard.
Yeah, and as a politician yourself, like there's a whole nother route there I couldn't even imagine. And I know that it's not an easy job. Like
no, everybody's grabbing on you for something.
Yeah, it's you have to be born for that kind of job to do it good. It's like almost like you have to be. That has to be something that's
you need
that's
like
thing.
Armor just to get through the crowd every day.
Yeah, or maybe you're just one of these people that like this is just a great talker, and you can just you can pull everyone together. You don't really do anything besides just get everyone to work together or whatever, and and then it doesn't really even matter what the cause is. Just like main thing. Like with Greta, like when you see this 17, 18-year-old girl, just like just stirring up the world, right? And I don't know. I was reading like her Wikipedia page the other day. Have you ever read that thing?
Not yet. No, I'll check it out. Is it cool? I think we're gonna check it out.
We're gonna check it out. Let's check out Greta's Wikipedia page.
Greta. That's all you need to do. Greta Wiki.
Greta. Sorry, Greta. Greta Thunberg.
Go for it.
I mean, and in the the EN exactly. ENE. Well, what language is ENE?
Middle name is Tintin, or one of her middle
Oh,
names.
yeah. Let's. Can you please read her name, sir?
Which one?
Greta Tintin Eleanor Ernman Thurnberg. She's Swedish.
Very Swedish.
2003. What I thought was interesting about this story, and it's almost like it's fabricated. I don't think it is, but the fact that she has this disorder. Can you zoom out a little bit so that we can read on? I think on the right, or if you go down a little bit, she talks about the fact that she's got this disorder. Mental health. Thunberg says that she first heard about climate change in 2011 when she was 8 years old and could not understand why so little was being done about it. The situation made her depressed at 8 years old, right? So she stopped talking and eating and lost 22 pounds in 2 months.
Oh, poor thing.
Yeah, as an 8-year-old.
8, yes.
So then that's when they realized, like, maybe she does have something mentally. And so eventually she was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, which, we all kind of know what Asperger's is. But obsessive compulsive disorder, we know what that is. But this thing, selective mutism. In one of her first speeches demanding climate change, Thunberg described the selective mutism aspect of her condition as meaning she only speaks when necessary.
That's hardcore. That's cool.
Yeah, so would that be crazy to be in a relationship with someone that only speaks when necessary? So hello, Greta, thank you for being here. She's like, what is the purpose of this podcast?
Yes. We are not talking. This is not necessary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Poor girl, man. She's just being. I just have the feeling like she's just being used for that. She's definitely. She's definitely becoming a poster child for something, and that I'm not sure she necessarily knows if she's what she signed up for. Or maybe she does and she's down with it and she's just, that's her thing. But it's kind of like being a martyr at the age of 18 is kind of heavy, right? Like, what about just being 18?
She must be able to isolate herself so well and just get rid of all that feedback and bad interviews and bad press and people trying to drag her down. Because these big companies, they're not happy about this. So there's got to be like this machine fighting her. How it touched on my life is as a teacher, they said these Friday school strikes.
Yeah.
In Germany, they have this big deal about you have to go to school legally. The cops will go to your house apparently if you're not in school, truancy officers, and grab you.
Yeah.
And I'm responsible for kids that don't show up at school. We've got your absent lists, but it's a lot.
It's a little more. It's more problematic here in Germany, right? Like if you really do not go, that you can actually get fines and stuff as parents and whatnot. Huh?
As Americans, maybe it hit you weird too. I was reading these stories just before like summer break or before like Christmas vacation. The cops would be going around airports looking for parents with kids, and if they saw a family with some kids, they'd want to see the doctors or the school release forms. If they didn't, there you pay the fine. German style, and I'm like, really? That's a little crazy. If you're bagging out of school on a Friday instead of a Saturday.
They're like, I'll show it to you when we get back.
Yeah, I'm going to Disney Paris. Hands off. Nope. The law says you're supposed to be in school. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Fridays for Future. Yeah. These demonstrations and how the schools were handling that for kids that in protest of how we, or adults in general, not us, but the politicians are not handling the climate crisis. What do we do if the kids don't go to school for a good cause? And there was this group of teachers like, we don't care. Good for them. Fuck the system.
We're staying out of it.
This is smart.
Yeah.
And I thought, good for her. She's motivating a whole group of people don't have a voice until now. She goes to the UN later and rags them out like, wow, balls.
How could you?
Exactly. I was impressed. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. It's hardcore. It's definitely like wake the fuck up. I'm one of these people that for a long time didn't. I went back and forth. Like I didn't really have the facts, so I was kind of like, yeah, maybe it's just an egotistical point of view that we have as humans that we think we can ruin the world, and maybe we're just like I kind of had this whole thing like maybe we're not doing anything in the world will just shit us out no matter what we do, But then, like, I listened to this podcast from Joe Rogan, and I don't know what the guy's name was, but he had written a book about the climate change and kind of just like explained the Industrial Revolution, and basically like just did a timeline for the last 100 years.
Wow.
It kind of starts in like 1900 when we did this whole with coal and trains. And,
wow.
Right, and then just went full bore after that. Right, and he's just like exponentially. He's like the CO2 that we've produced, the human species has produced on top of what the world's already going to do. The world does its own thing, and it's had its ice ages, and it's gone through these cycles all by itself, and it's also had high levels of CO2, over these 100 million year cycles of
sorted past.
That's fine, right? But he's like, but in the last 30 years, right, like exponential. And he's like, the crazy thing is that like because we've gone so high, like we're waking up now, but that means we have exactly 30 years to undo it, and not any short. Like he's like we're talking right now. He's like, we're already talking global temperatures above 2 degrees Celsius globally. It's right. It's already in the books.
Sure.
So he's like, do you know what that means? And the guy's like, Joe Rogan's like, what does that mean? He's like, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people are displaced because the water level's raised. And we're talking like 2030 now. He did the timeline. He's like, it's math. It's already in the books. So like when he was talking, I was the next morning I got up with Franzi and like I listened to it when I was going to bed or something like that. It kind of goes into your subconscious. I fall asleep listening to that shit.
Cool.
Wake up. Well, I don't know if it was cool.
Bad dreams.
Yeah, I was sitting there breakfast.
Swimming.
I was like, Franzi, we're fucked, breakfast the next morning. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm not even, can I have a cup of coffee first,
How could you?
Yeah, and even the dude was like, because it's kind of like this thing. He's like, well, but the next thing, like we're done with this podcast, I'm going to get in my car, turn on my car and drive home. So it's kind of hard to have like this, it's hard for us humans to accept or to even really understand the problem because it's such a big, multifaceted issue, And so the tendency is just to be like,
yeah, it's too much to deal with. I just want to go to work,
and like we had to get a new car and the old car broke down. It's like, well, yeah, I'm not gonna fucking buy an electric car, I could try. But then, like, yeah, it's expensive as shit. And then, like, the ones that I can't afford is, like, the size of a Skittle. Like, what's that one from Renault? Like, Franz and I, we jumped. We're because we're getting rid of the Mini. Which
cool.
And I was like, well, let's get an electric car, And I'm like, well, Tesla's 60,000. Even the small one's like 60 grand. And so we looked at, like, this little tiny one. And she doesn't really, we just need, like, a little get around her. It's a perfect electric car situation. Yeah, the Smart.
Nice plug.
Yeah, but not that one. It's not from Renault. Then it is though. It's
You two fit in that thing? It's a motorcycle.
That's what it is. The Zoe, the Renault ZE, the Renault Zoe,
the blue one.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So and they did a complete from ground up. They built this car.
4-door, huh?
Yeah, it's actually pretty. Like I have to say, for the price. Like, that's one of the first electric cars, and the range, too. Like, they had a pretty good thing. Full-on electric. So we got in that thing,
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa. That's
can't even fit a dog in here.
It's basic, And we got, like I said, we got 3 kids. There's no... But, like I said, it's kind of like a second car. Anyway, it's kind of like you have this double-sided... Well, how do you say it? Hypocrisy in your own life, right?
Yeah.
Of like, well, you took your bike here tonight. You got here on your bike, It's like, well, what are you doing for the environment? Do you start to live your life and not take the car as much, and all these things are basically compromises in your own life for your personal feeling of like, I'm doing something for the environment and whatever, and that's everybody has to do that for themselves. But I kind of have a problem when people kind of put it out like, well, what are you doing? Like kind of this virtual signaling, like,
oh yeah, good point.
Put on Facebook like, well, I do this, and or on Twitter, on Instagram, like I'm saving a tree, or I'm not. What did she do? She made her mom like this. She said she
really?
She wouldn't go to school unless her mom quit her career as an opera singer, which she was like a famous opera.
Huge carbon emissions there, but opera singer, man, how dare she?
Yeah, how dare she? And that's what the thing was. And so her mom literally stopped traveling and she traveled with a boat everywhere.
Okay.
that she could.
Yeah.
But she did it. She said it even, and she didn't do it because of that. She did it for her daughter, so her daughter would feel better.
Okay.
You know, so even the mom admitted it. Like, it's not a, you know, I'm not doing it for the environment more than I'm just doing it for my poor daughter that has like this disorder, and then she doesn't feel good about her future if I'm flying everywhere. You know?
I didn't know that. Okay.
It was in there too. I read it the other day, and the dad was too. He's very pragmatic about it. You know, I think he was also like, he's just doing it so that this disorder doesn't churn their daughter kind of onto the wild side. You know.
Huh.
And that's why she didn't go to school, because
interesting.
She was so depressed and stuff like that. But I mean, I understand it. I just have like I don't think it's the full. We need to fucking change some shit, like no doubt about it. But what are you and me gonna do about it? Like we need to get like, what about the ships?
Huge emissions there.
Go down to Edeka, that local store, and what do you see there for produce in that?
Oh, it's coming from all over the place, out of season. Yeah, in the winter. Germany.
I saw we had some strawberries yesterday.
Yeah, it's on sale.
So we're in like winter time. It's winter, and these are fuckers. Like they were like genetically engineered.
Yeah.
I don't know. And maybe there could also be like in Austria. I think when we were on vacation down there, they had some really cool like hydroponically grown produce and stuff.
Okay.
Which is like, that was also very renewable, and they had their whole system going. So that could work too. But on a mass scale, it's really expensive. You know, for a small country like Austria, they can probably swing it for certain stores, but it's also more expensive. And I don't know, like having bananas in Edeka in the middle of winter time is kind of like,
what's wrong?
There's just these huge container ships just constantly dumping crude oil into the environment,
plastics, and
I think like the 7 top ships produce more CO2 than all the cars in the world.
Really?
Like in like a shorter period of time, like in a week or in 2 weeks of them running, they produce more CO2 than all the cars in the world for the whole year or something.
I'm gonna drink this off. This is awful. Yeah. It is hard to believe.
Kind of gets you depressed. I'm sorry.
It's good. It hits home.
You want to,
My kids are coming home from school, and they're like, "Did you know this?" And the polar bears have nowhere to swim, and these heartbreaking stories that it's hitting. It's in the books, and the kids. It's a fact now, and I'm like, and I'm really worried. What in 30 years? What's life gonna be like for these kids? They're 10 and 6 years old now. And my youngest is 2. He's gonna be old enough to suffer. I might be dead, unfortunately. So, fuck. I don't know. It's bad.
What about artificial intelligence? Let's try and turn it up to. It could go negative, but it could also. That's like the. What do you think about artificial intelligence? Do you follow it at all? Have you kind of like looked into it at all? I'm a huge fan of like this whole topic.
I was in the States working as a project manager for a company that we made tests for schools. And
okay, so like standardized testing, or what is it?
Yeah, that was one branch. We sold products to like small schools. It wasn't standardized, but I was in charge of, for instance, the state of Kentucky's state educational system.
Okay.
And Smarter Balance all these state consortia came in later, and they were trying to do this No Child Left Behind thing.
I can't remember that word.
Yeah,
it's that sentence being No Child Left Behind.
Bush era byword. I think Obama tried to work with it, and it's been kind of mutated since. But back then, we used to we'd send the tests out to the students, the schools, get them back, and we'd have to correct them. We had rooms of people all over the country full of computers, and they'd be scoring these things on 3 different shifts to get it back before we had to pay collateral damage for late products. They'd have to get to the parents' hands before they found out the kid didn't graduate or whatever. It was standardized test.
Okay.
This was a big deal. Anyway, AI, we had an AI reader.
What year are you talking here?
This is up until 2014.
Okay.
And AI was a big deal. There were different publishing companies. They not only sold textbooks on history and different disciplines, but they also sold the test and the packages. Prentice is one. Harcourt was another. Big money guns.
Yeah.
And they would fly states and like teachers down to like the Bahamas to check out their new books and the new products. It's a multi-million-dollar industry. My company was a smaller independent player, but we could see the corruption involved, and it was just big money. Yeah. And anyway, AI, so they'd have this money to develop software to read a handwritten student response.
Okay.
So the kid would be writing on paper, or if they were really lucky, they'd have the access of a keyboard and a typewriter, use a computer. That didn't work for all kids because they'd have special abilities or disabilities, but AI goes way back then. So they'd have this like formula to read. They'd ask you a question. Remington, revolution of blah, blah, blah. What do you think? Pros and cons. You have to write a full page response, and we'd have to give you a grade. Handwritten, and these things would scan the letters.
No shit.
Yeah. And you as a parent would get the grade. You wouldn't know it would be scored by a computer, but you'd say, okay, Remington really good in history on this test. He did awesome. But in English, he got a 5 out of 1 being the best and a 5 as being like an E. You failed it. It's like, wow, what the hell? So you could file a complaint with the company like, this doesn't kind of work out. My son is better than this.
Yeah.
And we'd have to go back and as a human reader would come in. But that was a rare thing.
Okay, so it was like you guys were the second filter if the AI had messed up.
Yeah, if there was a spike, like.
But it was seldom.
We usually, we'd go through the results and
that's 6 years ago.
This was a long time ago, yeah, up until 2014. So we'd have these. It was a computer-based reader, and AI would go through the thing, a second filter when needed. If there was a spike, like this doesn't. Remington's a good student, we can tell, but this kind of flunked the test. So get a human on it.
Wow. Can you Google OCR artificial intelligence? I'm testing Eric now.
They have these binary codes and
neural network OCR.
I follow Elon Musk a little bit, and what he says about AI, he's a little nervous about it. I think
let's do some English.
What America's not doing is not getting out in front of it and regulating it.
Information-age.com. AI and OCR, how optical character recognition is being. Go down to the last one. Information. Yeah, one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Elon Musk. Sorry. Go ahead. Keep on going.
He's a big voice in that, and I trust him. He says we shouldn't trust this. We should kind of. It's interesting. I think it can probably facilitate and make a lot of things easier. But he's like, we got to regulate this before this is out of the box, because
that he's the guy to listen to.
Yeah. So I'm thinking
he knows.
As usual, I don't think there's anything going to be done until somebody gets hurt, but.
Yeah, that's.
I don't. What's your take on it?
Well, it's the same.
It sounds
thing.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, but it's right. Like the first operating system of Windows wasn't really a good one, right? So like the first version of any Windows, you're always like, "Fuck, I'm gonna wait to the
hell no." Yeah, get the bugs out and then.
So if that's like what they do, if our first version of artificial intelligence is anything like the first version of Windows, then we're fucked. Like then we're gonna program a bug in there, and it's gonna be like, oh yeah, I gave it the wrong thing. Like I read this one thing about artificial intelligence is it takes things very literal. So like we have like a wide general knowledge, and that's what this whole singularity thing is supposed to achieve, is like when the computer just doesn't have its own set of rules, but it actually can play against itself and create and improve its intelligence by creating logic games or just learning on its own, right? And so but if the construct of this learning system has like a bug in it, like where it sees us as a threat, or it sees us as something that it doesn't have any respect for our life, or it doesn't have any doesn't have any emotional connection to us, like if it doesn't have any of these things, then we're just this benign thing, then it could just, without even blinking an eye, just kind of do away with us, and that's kind of
that's the horror story. Yeah.
And there could be so many cases and so many ways that it could just think of us as like even we know that we're fucking useless.
Isn't that crazy? I know. There's been so many science fiction movies written about the possible future Terminator and I don't know, Omega Man, and just a world without humans.
What was that one, the Millennium Man, where it was like with Robin Williams, where he died right before he became like a human? Like they gave him like human. Did you see that one?
I don't know if I did.
I thought it was Omega Man was not the one, but the OCR thing was because I know that's what it's called. This can you go to the top again, Eric? Just to the top of the. No, how particular top? That's. Just to the top of the article, because it's called optical character recognition. Exactly. But see, I never realized that AI can actually do cursive writing. Like,
yeah,
That's
smarter than we think. Yeah,
are undergoing a quiet revolution as ambitious software providers combine OCR with AI. As a consequence, data capturing software is simultaneously capturing information and comprehending the content. In practice, this means that AI tools can check for mistakes independent of human user, providing streamlined fault. Now, it's very, very, very technical, but it makes sense. Like, and being involved in it yourself, then you actually saw that there weren't that many times where a human had to actually come in and be like, okay, that was a mistake. It read Timmy's handwriting wrong, and it was actually good English, and the machine had made a mistake, right?
That wasn't this particular company. We didn't operate that way. That wasn't the first. They prided themselves on this New England Yankee hardworking ethic, and we read. Humans read them for the most part, but we did get contract offers, and they'd say, okay, we need the responses, like millions of kids, 20 million kids, we want this back in 5 days.
Like, there's no way.
The math responses, the multiple choice, no problem, boom, 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 it's all done. The reading English comprehension stuff that we had to do, they'd read a story and have to write a reaction to it.
Plus you have to have the context, right? Like this that's the whole thing about like being creative and like art and just having, I don't know, that seems to, even for us humans, we don't even know what that really is, you know? Like when someone's being creative and coming up with new ideas and just like blah 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 blah, we don't even know what that is in somebody that where those connections come in, and this you pull out stuff out of your childhood, and like every person's got like a whole treasure chest full of interactions and connections, and then in this conversation they could like, you know, how is a machine supposed to like do that, right? But they I was listening to this I geek out on this. I was listening to Lex Friedman. Check him out. It's a badass podcast. It's called the Artificial Intelligence Podcast. It's pretty easy to remember. All right. And he was talking about actually I think he was on of course, again, the Joe Rogan show. He was on that, and he was talking about jiu-jitsu, because that's something I practice. And he's giving the theory, like putting it out there, like what if you like the rules of jiu-jitsu, there's like 15,000 different moves you can do, and so that's relatively straightforward. You give that to like a software and it'll. And what he was saying is that like the artificial intelligence right now that they're dealing with is like they'll just say, we'll give 2 white belts, like 2 beginner computers, and we'll put them in like just in software, like not physically, right? But just like software ways. We'll like let them roll with each other, let them practice with each other.
Wow.
And in normal life, like when you and I, if we're both white belts, it's going to take us probably a while if we never had any black belt from outside, like, kind of come in, or like a blue belt, someone that was more better than us, you know? And so like he's like, yeah, that's true. So you'd have like blue belts come in, and you would create like an actual real dojo with all these AIs, and they would all kind of teach each other jiu-jitsu, you know?
How cool.
And I was like, I could actually picture that. Yeah. And so these AIs are actually teaching each other without any human interaction. And as he kind of said that, I realized that like it's what we do too as humans. We you know, we have like you have to have a wide range of experiences, and it makes you better, or you have like a bad day. I don't know. Does a computer have a bad day? I don't know.
As long as they're plugged in, they're probably
As long as they're plugged in. That's what my wife always says. She's like, well, we'll just pull the plug, right?
Yeah. This is always the fallback.
I don't know.
I like there was that one web page Eric was on. We just saw it can improve workflows. AI looks great. It just streamlined a lot of problematic human error making and just get things straightened out. Yeah. I'm hoping that we see some of the faults in it, and where we've got these like bot wars and fake news going on, where we've got like comments coming up from random servers.
That is some crazy shit. As I heard that for the first time, I was like, what?
And they're just mass producing this crazy feedback, and humans are reading it saying, like and dislike, and there's a counter battery of feedback from another army of bots.
The 2 opposing sides are both bots, and they'll be both on like Twitter. They'll do like a Twitter war, and then they'll set up a demonstration. Yeah. On one side of the street with the rights, and on the other side of the street with the lefts. And the same day, they both got the same permit to demonstrate.
Yeah.
But there's no leaders. Like it's all these fucking people go there.
Yeah. The humans.
With
no computers.
With no computers. And the computers are just like, watch this shit. And these Russian bots are like, look at the Americans go. Yeah. And that's some real shit. That's the real. That's not a book. That's happened.
Take it to the next level, and the fake news of some nuclear weapons got launched. Oh my God, this is a hot.
Was there some fake news for that? Yeah.
No, but somebody had some horror nightmare Vorstellung, like, what if some fake news comes up on a presidential news feed, like, oh, somebody just threw a nuclear weapon at us, like, oh my God,
DEFCON 4.
Yeah, red buttons. He's dropping bombs, and like, when's that gonna happen? Is it gonna get to that? Hopefully never. But same thing. Support this march. Go to this street on this corner on this day and support this cause. Great. And then the counter army shows up, and these humans are doing stuff for robots. It's like, So hopefully
it's weird.
It doesn't get to that level, but people are realizing all of a sudden, like, this thing is out of control. We got to hem in the AIs. Facebook's got to work on their system.
And this whole algorithm behind our social networks is something that we don't really understand. Like even Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter, right?
Right.
Like he like the originally Twitter. You know what the original tool that he built was? What was it for?
I have no idea.
He had like a regular business. He was doing software, some other software company. I think he was doing some mapping stuff. That kind of like the beginnings of like these first mapping apps. You know, where you just like put like Yahoo, where you say like this is a review and this is how you get there and stuff. And so in his team, he wanted to create like a messaging app so that they can kind of like Skype or and then like as they were developing it, they kind of developed it really fast and it was working really well. And they're like, wouldn't that be a cool idea if you could just like write a text to anybody and they would respond?
I'll be damned.
And so he just like turned the infrastructure out inside out and just kind of created like this platform where people can message back and forth.
Jeez.
And so he didn't think that it was going to be like this network where like the president could fucking call out murders on Saudi Arabian generals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was on this. I was listening to him the other day, and he was talking. Well, not the other day, but he was talking about like. Actually, he didn't really talk straight about it because I think he talks so different because he can't shoot himself in the foot. He's like so guarded, you know.
Yeah, he's got it.
And it's so crazy how this algorithm actually is designing like it's a social movement. So like if you look in the policies and the terms and conditions of using Twitter, like it says in there that you like, can you pull up the Twitter user agreement? Have you ever read that?
No, it's right there. Twitter user Deutschland.
Yeah, just do it in English. It's it's not. No, it's try the first one. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. No, not the development. That one, the first one. Yeah. It says that side of the. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. It does it automatically. You have to put You have to put en in there. Does it do it? Will it keep it?
It might not. It's probably
because it's my IP address.
Getting attacked by bots.
Do you know what dead naming is? No.
Dead naming?
Do you know who Kate Jenner is?
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah. Caitlyn Jenner. Okay.
Dead naming. So
what was her name before?
Her name was Bruce Jenner.
You just dead named him. So now, if you did that on Twitter, you'll be disqualified. Like you can't use you'll be kicked out of the platform, and that's in their user.
Oh wow! Huh?
Like that's in their content
dead
on this.
Naming. Interesting.
Yeah. So it says like, can you Command F, and then type dead space naming. Come on, baby. Does it work? No, it's not working. I always thought it was in there. Okay. Anyway, maybe you have to type in like Google dead naming Twitter. But like so basically like Twitter is making a stand there, right? Twitter's saying like that's a very liberal statement because Bruce Jenner was Bruce Jenner for 54 fucking years.
I was gonna say
that was a dude.
we grew up with this guy in my Wheaties box.
Yeah.
This person.
He's like an Olympic athlete. Yeah.
Massive.
So like if you just are writing on Twitter, that like I used to watch Bruce Jenner when he was such a badass with his big balls and his big cock, like running down the streets, like without any underwear on, hanging through his like those shorts that they had in the 70s, like these short ass shorts.
Right. Oh yeah, those.
It'd be like I remember back in the day, like and if you wrote that and you just kind of make it like I remember the old Bruce Jenner, it's kind of like a statement from Twitter. It's a very liberal thing to say. We don't want that kind of talk on our platform. So what you're saying is you're kind of pushing that. Like if you want to be part of our discussion, if you want to be on the world discussion, if you want to be part of this world discussion, I'm actually saying it's kind of taking this right for free speech away from you, right? Because that's not free speech if you're saying that I can't dead name someone. Because dead naming, if you didn't even know what the fuck that was. Right?
Yeah, I'm like...
So you don't even know what dead naming is. So if you do that, and these liberals are like, well, we're way ahead of you. Dead naming was like in 2015, my friend. You don't know that. That's your own shit. Like that's this whole progressive left thing that kind of gets me a little riled
irritating.
Up. Yeah. So Twitter now prohibits misgendering or dead naming transgender people alongside other harassment and abuse tactics. The change appears to have happened in late October, but news of it began circulating last week. It's part of a more general rewording of the hateful. Okay, so it's the hateful conduct policy. So it's not just their it's not their user agreement.
Okay.
But their hateful conduct, and that's what Facebook deals with too, right? So this whole hateful conduct thing.
Quite a bit, yeah.
And I don't mind that they have like this thing sometimes on Facebook where it's like sensitive content. Are you sure you want to? And you have to kind of click on it again if you have like videos of like motorcycle crashes or something like that. Sometimes they'll pop up in your feed.
All right,
it's kind of cool because sometimes I don't want to see that. Right?
Yeah,
so I'm like, okay,
not at work or
Well, like even like in the morning, my first thing if you open up your phone, you're like, I don't want to see someone just like crash themselves into a car or something like that. Yeah, hateful conduct policy. You may not promote violence against or directly attack or threaten other people on the basis of race, ethnicity, national origin, caste, sexual orientation, gender identity, religious affiliation, age, disability, or serious disease. We also do not allow accounts whose primary purpose is inciting harm towards others on the... I mean, yeah, I get that. It's cool.
Yeah,
I mean who's gonna disagree with that, right?
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
But at the other end, like the whole dead naming thing was like kind of. Have you ever heard Ricky Gervais his joke on Bruce Jenner? It's so good.
No, really?
Oh fuck, it's so good. He's just like, he's like, because he talks about dead naming, and he kind of does this whole thing, and he's just like, gets the whole crowd, but he's like, but like before, right? Like 54 years, right? Before. Like he goes into the doctor's office and he's like, hey, fucker. And the doctor's like, hey, Brucey, come on here,
buddy. Come on.
You with your big cock. And they're going to give him like the old, hey, yeah. He's like, yeah, cut it off, He's like, oh, but man, why?
It looks beautiful.
Yeah. He's like, but that was before. Like, I'm not dead naming him because... that's kind of the
point.
Thing.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you talk about the dude in the past?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can't.
So like now I can't talk about the fact that like he wrecked a car. He killed somebody on the freeway.
That's right.
Right?
That was around the time of the operation, right? Or
it was right
before
and after. It was right before. He killed somebody.
No, he didn't.
No, he did, but he's not there, right?
Yeah. No, she didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
He goes home.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah. And then he I mean,
wow.
That's some crazy shit.
Yeah, that's
weird.
I learned something.
That's why today. I like sometimes living in Pasewalk,
Yeah, we're kind of, it's a nice little, yeah.
You're like kind of encapsulated from like these these LA things that happen down there. I know sometimes you're just like, damn, that's just, I don't know if it's just some like if it's just some fake world that we're living in, and like some guys just programming like in some simulation and like, well, we're just gonna put in some weird shit,
Let me ask you something. When you take the kids, now we're in this bubble of Pasewalk. We're living in this, how it is here for Americans out. I guess we're expats.
Yeah, that's weird too. Expats.
I never was
a very negative connotation.
Yeah, I guess that's what
still
we're
a
called.
patriot.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. I'm sorry.
bring the kids and the wife back to California, you have to pad the message or anything? Are you explaining, do a lot of heavy explaining, like this is how it is here? Just
that's weird.
Is culture shock, or how is it? Because
it would be a culture shock. Like we were just back for Christmas, and every time that we go back there, like my wife is obviously she's just so German, right? So, and I've become very German. I just have. I definitely have. Like
we know the flavor here, so makes sense.
It's usually it's the funny things, right? Because she just says you're very German because she likes to make fun of me. Because it's a two-way.
That's what Germans do. They make fun of each other. So
that's a compliment. That's what people in relationships. I like to make fun of my wife.
Yeah,
and she likes to make fun of me, and it's a two-way street.
It works.
And a girl usually I do better. No, I'm just joking.
Sorry, Francie.
I like to think that I do.
I'll ask her. All right.
Oh man, no. But the thing is, like. I think a lot of it is just it is in jest. It's in jest.
Yeah.
It's a game that we play when we're there. We pick out the differences, and you're like, oh, honey, you're just so German because I see the differences which I wouldn't have seen before.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And so I can laugh about them and just kind of laugh about how Americans. It's kind of funny. Are just so nice.
Yeah. Please. Thank you. Please.
Yeah. Please, thank you. No, it's not. No, it's fine.
I stepped on your foot. I'm sorry.
My bad. I have really crazy shoes on today, and I didn't. I would have like normally when I step on your foot, it wouldn't be a big deal. But now because I have them, I was gonna go hiking later, so it just turns into this whole thing, and you're like, dude, it's cool, man. I don't care. Like, have a nice day. But like you're walking in the parking lot. Every time we go there, we go to like REI because do you know what REI is? It's I don't know if it's a West Coast thing, but it's like an outdoor shop where you can buy like all your mountaineering gear and everything, and tents and just like you just buy watches and knives and just like
awesome.
Fucking it's just one of my splurges that I do when I go back. REI, yeah, I don't know what it stands for, but it's just like an outdoor shop, right? But every time we go there, it's in a big parking lot, typical like Roseville, like this Northern California sprawl. It's very big, and you just have a lot of space.
Yeah.
And so we're walking across this huge parking lot, and there's like a car
for days.
Yeah, and there's a car coming like way down there. And Franzi and I, we're just walking across and the person like slows down, is like waving you over, and they're like, "We're fucking going anyway. We're walking," and he's just like, go, and I'm like,
oh man,
and and it's like super nice, super nice, and that's like one thing in Germany. It's like you look and make sure there's no cars because they ain't stopping for shit,
right?
Like even in like a small node town, like where nothing's happening, people they drive their car, and like people like a pedestrian has not so many. They're just not. It's just not so conscientious,
No, it's.
I don't know if it's just
aggressive.
It's just different. Like these small, I don't know. There's a million small differences, but I guess when we come back to being like in California, and I always like this last trip was so good. I was like, honey, come on, like that was cool. We could do this. We could move to the States. I always think, like we can get a second house there. You just start to when you're on vacation, you just have all this time to like you just think like, well, let's move back, or let's just do 50-50 or see if we can make it work. And it's fun to think about, but I don't know. I like with the kids, you have like this whole other responsibility. If it was just me and her, and even if it was me and her, would I go back? I don't know. I miss my family. That's the hardest thing about it.
Yeah.
And my friends too. Like I haven't had any real contact with them because every time I'm there, I only have really time for the family. Because I just see my grandpa turned 80. And so, like, even my my high school buddies and stuff like that, like, I don't even hit them up anymore because I am only there for 10 days. And, like, I have to use those whole periods of time to visit the dads and the grandparents. And it's not like I have to, but I want to,
Yeah.
But it would be kind of cool to be like, well, I'm here for 2 months, I could catch up with somebody, get a beer.
There you go.
You don't have that pressure, I don't know. It would be cool if you could make it to where it was something that wasn't like a burden on the family, like it's tricky though. How that means you have to like financially it has to be something that doesn't financially burden you. And the time alone, just the time, even if money wasn't an issue, like kids have to go to school.
Yep.
We know this in Germany. Like I can't homeschool Tristan. That was weird for me when I first heard that.
Yeah, that's little constricting, huh?
I don't know. I don't know if I really would want to homeschool them anyway, but I'm just the fact that you can't homeschool your children in Germany. In the States, have you ever had any contact to people that have homeschooled their children?
I did, yeah. That company I worked at, that educational management company, and there was a girl there, and she got into an executive office, but she homeschooled like her 3 boys.
Okay, all by herself.
Yeah, and I was like, no wonder she got the job. She was a smart cookie, and I try to tell my kids about it at school, and someone will ask, like, is it true that you can do this? And they're looking at me like, why? What? And I'm like, okay, interesting. Let's go there. Homeschooling, we translate. What does that mean?
Yeah.
And you have to take these tests, and the state comes in, and you have to take these standardized tests that all the other kids, quote unquote, normal kids do in school, normal schools.
Yeah.
And you're held accountable for that. So a lot of stress, but how can you do that at home, balance a household budget, keep the kids at home all day, and make sure they get that social acclimatization?
Yeah, because they don't really have that social contact with other kids. That's one of the things that definitely you have to make up for in some other way. They have to do after school sports or something.
That was the thing. They are on heavy hockey games, and they actually got scholarships for it. So it worked out, I think, for a couple of the kids.
So playing hockey like during the day when all the other kids have to go to school.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to fuck these kids up to heaven.
Seriously.
Just getting extra rounds in behind their back.
It's a totally different world, I think. I don't know how I would do it.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's true. That's the other thing. Like, he comes home. My son comes home now, and he's just like, he'll look at it and be like, look at that thing and be like, Rahoda. I'm like, yeah, Rodia. Damn, I didn't teach him that.
Oh, cool. Good.
He's learning that in school. Like, I thought I was going to have to do a lot more it's first grade, right? But like,
good man.
Yeah, and then when he goes to the harder stuff, he's gonna have to go to my wife. I'm just gonna be learning with the whole time.
All right, yeah, me too. I'm just kind of the back seat with the rest of them.
But what class is Sophia in? What grade is she?
She's gonna be 5th grade next year.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
How's she doing? She cool?
I think she's cool with it.
She figured it out. It's kind of been a transition for her, probably the hardest, no? Because she was the oldest one.
Yeah, she's been bouncing around schools. So she had up to 2nd grade in the USA. Awesome experience. Like, hard, people are nice.
Yeah.
And the teachers are nice. And you have a great relationship with the 1st and 2nd grade teachers. And then you come here. And it was like hard. And the first impression, we have a good relationship with her current teacher she's had, but the fact that you have the same teacher from 1st to 4th grade.
I didn't realize that either until Tristan got to school.
5th to 10th grade. So
they have just 2 teachers until the 10th grade.
I thought that was crazy. I thought that's diabolical. Why? Where's the multiculti? Where's the diversity in that? You're not learning.
Even the teaching style, like different teaching styles, different learning styles, like just more is better usually for the brain. Like, just give me different inputs.
Right.
Like, yeah.
It doesn't work that way in Germany. There must be an advantage. I have a few in mind, but different. But my daughter was like, wow, that's weird. And she didn't know what was going on, but I could see the way this teacher, who I thought was operating, I thought, this is completely backwards. This is like Stone Age. And she was getting graded on her cursive handwriting, which up until 2nd grade was not even a thing.
Yeah.
So they wanted to keep her back a year just because she didn't know how to do cursive very well. She knew it, but it wasn't to the German style. Like, I taught her cursive how I was taught up to 2nd grade.
Yeah.
And it was completely different here. Like, S's are different and H's. And I was like,
yeah.
Wow. So I had an immediate lack of appreciation of what they brought here to the table.
Yeah.
It's totally different now. I'm happy, but the fact that she was like, oh, the woman's quote was, I see a Schwarz. This doesn't look good. And this was the 2 weeks before they ended school.
Have you seen these T-shirts that do those kind of German things in English and stuff? Like, I see black for you. Ich sehe schwarz für dich.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. Like, or what's don't go me on the cookie.
Okay, yeah.
Give me
the gas me off some cakes or something.
Give me the Schaffen cakes.
Nice.
Yeah. Or I think I spider.
Ich denke, ich spinne.
Yeah, I think
Great. Oh, cool. Nice. That's,
sorry, side note.
No, it's good. That's good. Language is a cool thing, and I think Sophia likes that now that we go to the States and she can speak German about people. Go to the movies.
That's the best part,
dude.
That's the best fucking part about being bilingual.
It doesn't seem like she feels the pain like we would. Like, oh man, we've got to pay German taxes and American taxes, or this kind of bigger discussion. She's playing in different languages, and she's got great friends here, and she still has great friends in the States. So not such a bad deal for the kid. The twins, they're going to go to first grade next year, same school and the same teacher,
because it's the 4 years.
Yeah, Sophia's going to be handed off to fifth grade by that teacher, and that teacher's going to get my twins. Which as long as there's not too much in comparison, because I think the twins are completely nuts, different from Sophia. But we'll see. And if this woman doesn't retire before then, maybe my son will be in that.
That's exactly the 4 years again.
So I feel protected. I feel like we got a good, honest relationship with the town and this teacher, and we get a fair shake at a good future. We'll see. I don't know. Your experience? He's also in the same school. Tristan?
He's in the
Polizeischule.
Evangelische.
Oh, good. Yeah, good one.
Yeah, it's a good school. I was kind of tricky about this school at first because it's a private religious school.
He had the same kind of...
I'm not religious at all.
Neither I. But they run things here. The Evangelische Church.
Yeah.
If you want a garden, if you want this, if you want... They
kind of
talk to them.
Yeah, it's because they have so much land, right?
I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
That was wrong.
I thought they're running shit.
Yeah.
No, I have like a positive relationship to that school because I saw how my niece, both of my nieces from my sister-in-law, the older one is just turned 18 today. Happy birthday, Eliza!
Oh, congratulations!
Happy birthday, 18 years old. All right. We had a beer tonight already we had ribs tonight.
Oh, nice! At my
sister-in-law's house. That's why it took me so long.
That's okay. Yeah, good.
It's a cool reason, right?
Yeah, why not? No worries.
But so I saw how she did in the school, and they have their hiccups, they had something.
Sure.
They had this whole thing with, I think Eric would have to also be on the microphone here. He's 19, so he can give me a lot of real life data from the system here in Pasewalk because he's gone to school here too. But I think the Evangelische school. The school stops at a certain grade, right? And then you go to gymnasium. So you go there till 10th grade. You know this too. Okay, so you stay there until 6th grade, and then after 6th grade you go to the next level of school. Yeah. So in these until the 6th grade, what I saw, I liked. Good. They have a different method of learning. That I never really thought about before. They teach the kids to, the way that they're teaching them to read, they sound out the words, which I get that. That's what you do.
Good.
But he does it like it's extreme. They don't learn the letters of how they sound in the alphabet. Like you say A, B, C, D. They do the sound. And so, yeah, they go, and then so b, and you have to do the German pronunciation of it, which I'm not going to do because it sucks. but so when he started to read, it was that's why it happened so fast, because it was just he would just sit there and just be like, okay, Budweiser, because he just sees the.
Oh, great.
He doesn't know what he read. He doesn't even know what he said. He just kind of sounds it out like that.
Fantastic, huh?
There's a couple
first grade.
Yeah, but I think I don't know what first grade. Aren't you supposed to read in first? I don't know.
I don't think they expect it. I think
okay, it's kind of like a cherry on top.
Go with
they're
the
learning
flow.
it.
Good.
I don't know.
I think second grade is the big deal.
Is where it's reading is second grade, but the first books that you get also. Don't you get them in first grade? I don't fucking know.
I bet. But I think they make heavy decisions on math. If you're gonna stay back, that's the year you stay back.
Okay, if you're not if you're not doing the addition and the subtraction, or just
that's
addition.
the cut. Yeah. I don't know. That's what the rumor. Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know. I think the thing is with Tristan, with anybody really, but even with myself, if I have to learn something new, I want to have a positive relationship to that, I want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And so I think the job of a parent and, teachers have enough on their plate. And I think I think teachers have they should get paid more, they should be
I think so too.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially since you don't have a biased opinion at all, but I think that the reason that a lot of kids kind of lose their whole spunk about learning is because it's becomes a chore for them. You know, they have like this relationship with learning as if it's something bad, but it's kind of like, well, fuck, when you can start to reach. I was telling Tristan the other day, I was like, dude, once you start reading, like, you can just learn anything you want. No one's gonna stop you. You know.
Yeah.
Like you could just go into a library and be
Good thing.
what am I gonna put in my brain today? And he's like, what? I was like, yeah. It's like it's kind of like, you know, you can Google something. Yeah. Like, think about that. Yeah. Like back in the day when we were small, like younger, I had AOL and you could Google stuff. You could AOL stuff. Yeah. Good luck. Yeah. You know,
there's nothing out there.
Like just now, the fact that you can. And isn't it like a weird thing that makes us fucking stupider? How could all the knowledge at the fingertips of all the human knowledge is at your fingertips, and what do? We become fucking stupid about it. We get on Amazon and order packages. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. It's
a
true.
Weird.
Go figure.
It's a weird thing for me.
Devolving.
It's weird. Like sometimes when you think that, like, I think I was listening to this joke from this new, I don't know what's his name, Johnny Chang or something. It's some fantastic comedy special on Netflix, and he was saying that it's gonna be like handled like smoking in the future. You know, like you're not gonna be able, like pregnant people aren't gonna be able to use the internet. And
it's so harmful to your health.
Because it's so harmful, because they're gonna Google some shit about, you know, and it's gonna kill their baby or whatever, you know, because they read because there's so much misinformation, because it's just
stressed out,
because there's so much bullshit in the internet at the same time, you know. It's just, I don't know, it's a weird thing, but I think that, like, if you can, as a parent, if you can just kind of keep your kids, if you just kind of keep them excited about learning and kind of give them the opportunity to enjoy knowledge, then it will never be something that's like, I don't know, it's the small things. Like you hear with my niece, because before Tristan went to school over the summer, she's like, oh, you gotta do homework, man. She's talking shit to him, you know. She's putting it down. She's like, you just wait, you gotta go to, you know, just giving him that this whole paradigm of like, you're gonna have to do homework,
they're gonna yell at you,
you're gonna yell at you. And you know, it's not fun as you think it is. It's not like the kindergarten. And I just totally stopped that. I was like, I know. I just jumped in there like, yeah. Like she doesn't know, man. You know, she sees it.
That's
like,
cool.
You can do. You know, you can do it however you want to do it. You know, like if you want to go to school and have a good time, you can do that too. And it's trickier, but it definitely makes it easier for them to try and pull out the good parts. And there's always like the thing that, what's this, what do we have now? We have this week, this holiday here in Germany.
There's Pfingsten or
Carnival,
yeah.
And so in the kindergarten, the kids, it's kind of like a Halloween almost, right?
They love it,
they get all dressed up, and Tristan's like one of these kids. He loves to get dressed. One of these kids, like every kid likes to get dressed up, right?
Sure.
He was like, oh, stoked about it. Had his costume all picked out and stuff, you know. And at the school, they're like, they didn't give a fuck about it. Like they said they were gonna do something, you know, but it was kind of like the teachers, they're just like, we have like our sports hour. And so you guys get to get dressed up, and we're going to do sports in your costumes. So they just were sitting in the corner talking to themselves and making the kids just do laps in the gymnasium. And he had this whole picture like, oh, it's in the gymnasium, so there's probably going to be a fucking huge party.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And so he came home. I didn't pick him up from Hort, you know, from the after school thing, but Franzi picked him up, and she's like, he was sitting there, he was crying. He was he was so sad because and then he was saying, he even said it today, you know, Wednesday. So it was on Monday, and he was just like, yeah. Then he was doing that program to my little daughter, because my little daughter's in the kindergarten still, you know.
All right.
And he's like, oh, you just wait till you get to school.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's just a fucking
spoiler
circle.
alert.
And I was like, and I had to stop. I'm like, dude, just stop. Like, she doesn't understand. And Carly's just like, what? I want to be the frozen princess, you know.
Oh, great.
It's like, God damn it, you know, come on.
That hurts, because then we think what we were doing in the States, and it would have been totally handled different, I think. I mean, Sophia's first grade teacher, or the whole school, organized the Halloween parade, and all the parents are guilt tripped into going to this thing in the afternoon. You bag out of work early to go to the friggin' 1:00 in the afternoon Halloween parade, and 300 kids march around in their costumes in October. Cool as hell. But nobody's going to do that here. And I'm thinking, I don't know. It's
the Halloween thing here is okay, right?
It's getting better.
It was getting better. Yeah.
Getting better.
I mean, for Pasewalk, I have to say, like, they do a pretty good job.
When I lived in Berlin in the 90s up into 2004, Halloween was like a big Vessi thing, the Americans and
it was kind of like the American thing to do.
Yeah, they thumb their nose out. We don't do that. That's you guys. You sell your Hallmark cards around this, and you merchandise. You capitalists.
Like Valentine's Day.
What? Yeah, it's like, what are you talking? Why not?
Yeah.
And now it's like religion, so it's kind of cool. I think.
Yeah, Halloween is. I've always liked Halloween. It's fun. It's fun to mess around and do the weather's always kind of a thing. Like if you're outside here in Germany in October, chances are it's raining.
You're risking your life. You'll be sick for the week after that. Or, it's kind of crazy.
But I don't know. What's the weather up where you're from?
Yeah, New Hampshire. It's cold.
It's cold and it's on the coast.
Pretty
right?
dry. We're on the coast. We're about a mile inland from the Atlantic, so nice area to live. But I always remember like triple layering under your ghost costume, or you're an army guy.
So you gotta exactly. You have to have, like wear your down jacket and then your fucking thin ass costume on top.
That was crazy.
It's the same thing here, right? Most of the time.
And up there it was getting dark, 3 in the afternoon, 4 in the afternoon. So you bring your flashlight with you.
Yeah. So it's a lot like Germany, actually.
It is. It's very similar climate-wise, but it doesn't rain as much. And in the winter, it'd be sunny as hell. And I think that really you keep it positive. Even though it snows a lot out in New Hampshire.
Snow is better than rain, man.
Every day.
Yeah.
Tons of plowing going on, tons of shoveling. You get your workout.
Yeah.
But at least it's sunny. And you here
it's the vitamin D, right?
You need that.
Positive, happy vitamin.
And that's one of the drawbacks of, I think, here is you don't get that like sunshine in the face as much. Yeah, and you just get a lot of gray skies till, even in Berlin, it was the same thing, just about until May. Yeah. And then it's like, boom, like a different planet. But that winter thing is tough. You got to be really rugged to work it here.
I think it reflects, like when you listen to Paul Kalkbrenner's music or like some of these DJs. That,
it
always has like this. It's like, that's kind of depressing shit, because it's always like with a deep bass line, and it's always this dark cellar, like wet, like it has like this feeling to it. It's just got its own signature, and it just reflects like the fact that. And I think that's why Germans are fucking pissed off all the time.
And it could be. That could be. I think techno, for some reason, I moved out of New York City to be in that techno scene. And then when I went back to the States, techno, they didn't even listen to that stuff anymore. Like onto the next third or fourth generation trend, post-techno. Yeah. And I come back to Berlin, and techno's massive. And I was like, there must be something that really jives. The industry was strong as hell. They're still selling vinyl records.
Yeah.
Still a strong industry. I'm thinking, for some reason, it clicks with Germans. People, joke, it's marching music. That's what the British people say. But I don't buy into that at all. But they're really into it's dark. Yeah. It's for wet bunker cellar type dwellers. Yeah. I like it. So there must be something that, and you like it too. So
I've had like a phase where I was driving a lot with one job that I had, and I would listen to like electric music on this not necessarily house music, more of like a deep bass, I don't know what you would call deep house. Something.
Sure.
And you're just on the freeway and it's raining all the time everywhere you go, and it's like, but you can drive fucking as fast as you want, right?
That's the upside.
So you're just like, and so when you're putting the gas in there, and it's just like, and it's like okay, I can. That's cool. I can do that. It would get you. It wasn't like you weren't all holly-golly and having a great time, but it was like kind of like it was getting where you're going, and you had a good moment. And I don't know, I could get behind it. I never before I moved here, I never was into music like that at all.
Oh wow, yeah.
I was more hip hop and
cool.
I still hip hop forever, right?
Sure,
hip hop forever. Like Eric and I, we're gonna do some hip hop shit.
Oh, great. Serious?
Yeah, I love it.
Great.
And rock and all that stuff, all that classic stuff. But the electronic music, definitely you have to experience it in that club to kind of for it to get you, or maybe not. I don't know.
I can't see myself coming from the country. I'm originally like the country mouse. I liked it for some reason, but I can't imagine like anybody coming from like Kansas really into like the city bunker music, like techno. It just doesn't work.
It just doesn't fit, right?
The ambience, that atmosphere. You're out in the Kansas, I don't want to say fields, but there's big cities in Kansas too. But
Yeah, the wide
it
open
doesn't really work.
Of
Yeah,
the countryside.
I can understand country music could work out there, or something bluegrass, or something. Chill.
Like, what are those guys that are really good here? God, I just was listening to him the other day on my Spotify.
I think I know what you're talking about, but
they have a little kind of like that bluegrass thing, but it's more uppy. It's more like what are those guys called? Come on, not the Mumford and Sons.
I've heard about it. I don't know the tunes, huh?
Yeah, Mumford and Sons. Yeah, they've got like it's kind of like with the banjo, but they also have like a more of a bass roll to it, and the guy kind of sings like he kind of gives this whole like, and then we run into the, and it's just like
wow.
It's kind of similar to some of that German stuff that you hear sometimes, like this punk rock German that you hear sometimes.
Oh, right.
Those guys.
Yep.
It also has that same. It's kind of like this fast pub music, where you kind of have like you have a thumper to it.
Yeah. Now it works.
Gets that kind of like that. I can get behind that kind of music too. I think like you can get behind any music as long as it's good.
Yeah.
I can get behind country music. Like I used to fucking, I don't know, there's good country music out there.
Oh yeah.
It's the whole stuff where you're like at the beginning of the song you had your house and your dog and your wife, and the end of the song you lost it all. That was kind of like the same old beat. That's like,
I think the early old school first ever country songs were really cool. It was like semi rock music, and that gave Elvis some of his chops, wow, that kicked the whole thing off. But like early blues, I'm not a big fan of jazz, but the earliest tunes when they're kind of staticky and you're like, that's kind of slick.
Yeah.
I was never into reggae, but
yeah, right. Like Bob Marley was probably the only thing that I could get behind, really, in that sense. Was that reggae?
Reggae, right? Yeah. But there's like some old school, they call it roots, and that was from the '60s, and that's like really different from what you hear now. It's like polished sound, a little commercial. Yeah. Back then, it was like rock and roll for them.
What was the name of the label back in Berlin?
Oh, there's also Tresor. There's Tresor Club, then Tresor Records.
Okay.
And we'd be putting out like 12 albums a year, CDs and vinyl. And
I didn't realize that. That's true, because you said it's the same, but it's the same name too. So it's the same record label.
I worked in the label. That was my thing Monday through Friday. And I'd be doing record releases in English to the international distributors and the record pressing plants. We'd be doing CD masters and sending glass wax or whatever.
Yeah.
And ordering record jackets, backstocking stuff, and merchandise. It was all insane.
Dude, we got to go down there and do a podcast with your homeboy.
He's amazing. Yeah, Dimitri Hageman. Yeah, he's in that documentary you mentioned, and he just drops bomb. Anybody that's, I always liked working in the office and watching him work. Talk to people. They'd be coming in like, "Tell me your story," and he'd go off and start talking about like moon landings, and we're gonna do this, and we're like,
whoa.
It's normal for us, but these people, the coolest guy, the hardest DJ coming like, I want to talk to this guy. And they're just like a kid at a story hour. Like their jaws are on the floor. Like your boss is so cool. I'm like, yeah. I know. He talks a lot of shop, but sometimes he'll for us, he came up with this crazy idea. He's asking me about this American, at the time it wasn't a big deal. There was no movies out, but Curious George. Yeah. He secured the German publishing rights for...
Back then?
I forgot his first name, but H.A. Ray is the guy. He's a Jewish Kriegsflüchtlinge. He and his wife fled the country before.
And he's this guy, the author of this book series, The Curious George, the monkey. That's...
Yep. Yeah. He secured the publishing rights, and we're techno hard. We thought we were hard guys and girls, but we're like, you did what?
Curious George?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
And he's coming out as we'd be working in this office and listening to techno tracks all day. Like, they're doing this, and this new record's coming out, and this DJ's coming to town, and this dude comes to work with us, and he's in charge of translating the original American books into German for the first time ever in Germany.
Wow.
And he published it under this publishing company he grounded. And we're like,
that's such a great idea.
Diversified. And I was like, and the movie hadn't hit yet, but we knew it was coming. I thought, man, if you, outside of techno, if you secure the merchandising alone on this in Germany exclusively, that's your gold mine right there.
Yeah.
Techno alone is going to do well, but he had restaurants and he had ideas and putting people in action. And here I was an American, but He's like, I want you to do this. I know you can do it. And I was like, in the States, that never would have happened. I don't think it would have happened. I would have had to have like major connections and.
Yeah, it was just very like the hierarchy was very flat. He just kind of like
it was very open minded, and I thought that's cool. He took a chance on me. I didn't want to let him down, so I stayed with the company for years. I really liked it, and I talked to him recently actually, and he's like, "Why don't you come back? And why don't you just do something? And what do you want to do?" And he showed me his whole new empire. It morphed into other things. He's got a big art gallery. He's got this huge, instead of the techno bunker. I'm talking too much about this guy, but
it's okay. Do it. You can talk about it. I mean, I don't. It's totally fat name dropping. I don't want to do that. But at the same time, like when you talk about the fact that like that this guy is switching his brain out of, he's not just focusing on this one thing. And he comes up with something like Curious George. I always had this. I think this not always, but every time I read like a good book in English, and I tend to read books. It's kind of boring for probably a lot of people, but I tend to read books like that are about like self-improvement, or not necessarily self-improvement, but like I read like I don't know if you know who Tim Ferriss is. I kind of have like this direction, and I know that it's like my favorite direction to go into, and I gouge on it myself. I don't necessarily challenge myself with a lot of new ideas all the time. I just get the new ideas from like the kind of the same thinking of people. I know that it's almost like an echo chamber for myself, but it's also like, but when I'm going to read a new book, then we're going to take the time, then I kind of want to agree with it.
Keeps you attached. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to be careful. I mean, I don't need to, like, I kind of, you end up just always searching out the same views instead of like, I have a friend that's like, he'll read a book that he doesn't agree with at all. Like he knows that he's not going to like it.
It's work.
And he'll read it to like kind of open. And I'm like, cool, good for you, man. I'm not going to do that.
We have no time to.
But I always think like, well, that would be cool if I could, especially like a book like a smaller book from a smaller author that would never really have the opportunity to translate it in German. But I like it, and I think, well, I would even like to give this book to my employees.
There you go. Yeah.
You know, and so just translating those, it's a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. Right?
Unless you're AI.
Unless you're AI. Yeah. Apparently they could, because I didn't realize, maybe it is so far along now that the concepts themselves. German is one of those languages like. It's tricky to translate English to German for me personally, just to try and you have to kind of find these like conceptual ideas that are culturally relevant, because a lot of times like you see that in movies. Have you ever watched? I'm sure you have watched a movie completely in German.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're just like,
they said what?
What?
Yeah, what?
Is that the joke? Because I know the original joke, and it was not that.
Yeah.
Like especially
it's flat.
Especially in a joke, especially when it's like a joke, or when it's something that like has like a reference to some cultural something.
Yeah,
you know,
Simpsons reference.
And so then they try and bring it into a German reference, and maybe they don't even use the Simpsons. They use like a different type of cartoon, and you're just like, no, you know. And obviously the big one is the fact that the voice of the dub over it, unless it's Christopher Weitz. Christoph Weitz, what's his name? It's in Österreicher, ne? Christoph Weitz. He was in. He's an older dude. Nee, nicht Udo Weitz. Christoph Weitz. Unten rechts über 15 weitere ansehen auf der rechten Seite. Rechts.
Oh yeah.
Christoph
got him.
He was in the latest James Bond.
Oh what? Oh, I haven't seen that yet. All right.
Yeah, and he's a bad guy in that one.
He's always the bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and he kind of got his hit later on in life, right? Like he's 63, and in the last 10 years, whatever. But Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so like that's cool with him, because I watched a new movie with him in it. He kind of played like a kind of a side role, or not really. He played like kind of a big role, and he did his own dubbing for his own voice, right? So that was kind of cool.
That's cool. Yeah, that works.
Because he can speak both languages. He speaks German and English, and his English is just so cute. Yeah, he has like that German. He has like the Austrian accent.
Sure, yeah.
And he's such a fucking sarcastic dude.
Yeah.
Like I love this guy. It's just one of those actors for me. Like even in the James Bond, where a lot of people thought he kind of fell flat as a bad guy. If you watch it, you have to tell me what you think. I thought it was pretty good. But anyway,
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, with all your free time, right?
I do the best I can. And if I do, it's late night when all the kids are in bed. Yeah. He was also in Django Unchained. I didn't know that. I'll have to see that again alone.
His role in that one, fantastic. Dude.
Amazing.
Yeah. And he told the story of, what's that, Broomhilde, which is a German story.
Oh,
okay. Can you Wikipedia Broomhilde?
I'll have to check it out.
We're testing Eric tonight. This is fun. I don't even know how to spell it. But
I think he was on Jimmy Kimmel too recently, and my wife told me about it. Like, did you realize this guy? And he was ragging on himself, and he seems like a really cool guy.
Broomhilde Geschichte oder wie heißt das? Ist es mit N? Ja? Ich weiß nicht. Du bist ja, naja, nicht Django Unchained because
there you go.
Yeah, okay. Broomhilde is okay. Wikipedia, Broomhilde story, an actual German. It's an actual German legend.
Funny.
Yeah, and that's what I love about
Tarantino.
Yeah, he pulls out like these cultural gems from like a German cultural gem, and he puts it into the movie and they're in the movie. I don't want to spoil it for you, but like basically, this Christopher Weitz tells the story.
Okay.
He tells the real story, like without any in the movie. And it's one of those stories that we've in our culture, in the American culture, I've had in different ways, in different. It comes out. I think it kind of translates to another English story. Anyway, it isn't a German legend exactly, but it's a Nordic Germanic legend. The story of Brunhilde, also spelled Brunhilde, is a shield maiden condemned by Odin as part of the saga of Sigurður Sigmundsson, also known as Siegfried.
All right.
Was widespread in the Nordic and Northern Germanic countries in the early medieval period. These legends formed a large part of the Poetic Edda, a collection of Nordic sagas told in the Poetic. No, but the story itself, written is around 10th century, but we likely based it.
Oh, the last line. Django Unchained is essentially a retelling of Wagner's Siegfried.
Yeah.
Which drew on one particular variant of the Brunhilde saga. So Brunhilde.
Yeah. So the entire movie is that
Brunhilde. My God,
and then he's telling the story like in a moment in the movie. It's just kind of like
awesome.
Yeah. So he's basically telling. It's a foreshadowing moment. You kind of can tell out of what he's saying that what's going to happen to the main characters in the movie. It's
wow. I'll have to do that again. Yeah. Oh man.
And then Leonardo DiCaprio was in that movie, right? He was like the southern
Mandingo.
The Mandingo. Yeah. He had the Mandingos, right?
Yeah.
Like the Mandingos are like, I didn't realize that.
I didn't either. I had to go back to Wikipedia. Like, really?
This was real? They had these black dudes, and they were like
ultimate fighters. Proto, yeah.
Do you watch any fighting? Any by chance?
I don't. No cable, no violence at home. No, very PC.
No, it's good. I just watched this last fight with.
How'd that go? It was like the fight, and the guy comes out with 40 pounds of like armor, his suit, and that caused him to get defeated. He said. The American versus the British guy. This is the heavyweight fight.
Wilder against
Fury.
Fury, exactly.
And
Wilder knocked him down in the previous fight that they had in the 12th round.
Okay.
Didn't knock him out, but he's out of the last 42 fights that Wilder had, he knocked out 41.
Okay.
So he's a knockout artist.
Yep.
But they've always kind of said that like the one weak spot with him was that if he's not knocking you out, he's not doing anything. Like so this knockout always made up for all of his kind of his technical mistakes. So,
yeah, one-shot wonder.
And but 41 shot wonder, right? So it's kind of like hard to disagree.
Shit. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, and so but Fury, so he lost the previous fight, and then this fight it was just like not even like dominated him. And it was, I think it went 7 rounds, but it could have gone, the 6th round, it was already pretty much sealed. Or if it wasn't that 6 and 5, 5th round, 6th round.
Okay.
So now it's kind of like there's another fight coming up after this one where now Deontay Wilder's done for now. And I don't know the name of the new guy, the new opponent, but that's going to be a fight.
Also against Tyson Fury?
So that's going to be the Ultimate Heavyweight Championship boxing.
Jeez.
And I just watched it the other day.
Live?
Can you do a Fury verse? Like Fury verse? No, just without the E. Fury verse
Klitschko?
No. Yeah, he's fought in Klitschko.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wilder too.
And Fury in this last fight, he switched trainers. He has Klitschko's old trainer. Which a very offensive.
That's a
very offensive guy. And so that was the thing that kind of Wilder didn't really know how to deal with it because Fury was just on the attack.
Wow.
Anyway, it was crazy to watch because these dudes are huge, right?
Yeah.
He's weighing 240 pounds.
Monster.
6'9", 260 pounds or something like that.
Get hit by that.
He was moving fast. He was just like,
wow.
And I was just like, what the hell? Watching that kind of boxing is crazy. I don't know who's going to fight afterwards.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter. Anyway. Oh, yeah, the winner. What is the latest news? Intentions will turn to Wilder Fury 2 after this weekend's fight. Anthony Joshua and Ruiz. I think Anthony Joshua is going to be his next guy.
The next victim.
Yeah. The next victim. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I read the headlines. I couldn't believe it that Wilder lost, and somebody said this is the second time recently that American boxing's been totally put to shame. And I was really like, oh fuck, that the British really just put us
second
down.
time. Yeah.
I didn't know what the first fight was. I thought, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
I gotta go back to my link, but I thought, wow, I should watch this more often because I didn't know. I mean, I don't like getting. Yeah. We're a big country. We've got probably big egos, but we get a lot of money bankrolling these big programs, and we go to the Olympics. We expect to win.
Yeah,
and we do. And we're happy about that. We get a certain amount of gold medals against the Russians and Chinese. That's how it's always worked for us.
It is somehow some statement that you have there. It's true.
Yeah, I don't mean to sound arrogant, but as Americans,
Tokyo Olympics, right? When is that coming up?
It's this summer, no? Or I'm not sure.
We're thinking about. They don't know because of the coronavirus.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, yeah.
I read something the day that it's like maybe we can't do the Olympics.
Wow, that's big. I didn't realize that, but yeah,
that would suck.
That's big. That's hitting everybody. We talked earlier, just stock market. I mean, stuff that you didn't think was connectable is all of a sudden tanking. International shipping was bad between China and the USA. Now it's a standstill.
It's weird, huh?
Yeah. We'll see how things are going. So kids at school are making casual jokes about Corona.
Yeah.
You got Corona? High five. No, don't touch me. And I'm a foreigner. And although I haven't been traveling, it's a cheeky thing, but they must be listening to their parents. What's going on at home and
we're kind of cool foreigners though, right?
Yeah, I would think we're not. Yeah.
You ever get the feeling like I'm a foreigner here, but they're kind of like, well, you're American, so that's cool. Like they kind of like
there is the exception, yeah.
Yeah, like we could have it like out of all the foreigners, we probably have one of the easier road. Like I don't know, even all of our presidents. Like I remember being in Mexico when Bush was in presidency. And like, what's the first question? Like, why? And then now Obama, he had like 8 years of quietness. No one bothered you, And then it's like Trump, and people just look at you like, why? And I'm like, dude, 350 million people are asking. Like, I'm the representative now for like the politics of the United States of America.
Right. Yeah. Officially, I say, it's a hard position to be in for sure. But
it's always easy just to be like, I don't know, I don't care.
Yeah, they can get along with it. They can drink a beer with us.
I voted.
Oh, cool.
I didn't. I'm not going to tell you, no. But I voted. It's just like, I don't know. It's when you get this thing like you're an outsider. You're ein Ausländer.
Yeah.
Then you must and you have the coronavirus. It's kind of like really just disinfect your hands, wash your hands. Take it easy. We have masks in the pharmacy.
That's so hard.
We have all these masks now.
Yeah,
we had to order all these masks because people want them.
Oh, wow.
They want these special things, and like we saw on the map earlier, there's already 18. It's been 18 cases in Germany.
Yeah,
so
17 in France or Spain. It's going around.
I don't know. I think that if you look at the hardcore numbers, I think these other viruses is normal. These normal like grippe. What's grippe? Like
influenza or flu? One or the other. I'm not sure.
That killed way more people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't know.
Hopefully it doesn't get any worse, right? Just
knock on wood. You're right. I don't know where to go with that. I'm trying to assuage kids' fears at school. Like, don't worry about it. You're good. But I don't know actually what I'm talking about. My kids haven't really come home in a panic about it.
Yeah.
But that's probably good.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, at what point does it? If you look at all of China, there was 700 and something cases of it.
Okay.
Right. And how many fucking people do they have? Right. Like 700 seems like, I don't know. I wonder if it's just because I think Franzi made a good point. She's kind of like, I think it's because we just don't know. Like with the influenza and all these things, like we have these, we're kind of on the case of it.
Sure. Yeah.
And we have
guys know.
No, I mean like humans, like we have like kind of a group of people and they sit together every year.
That's a lot of people.
1.3 billion people in 2017.
So we're at 1.4, I'm sure. And
yeah, USA 325 million. So 1.3 billion and 700 of them or 760 of them, God rest their souls. It's not a cool thing, and the weird thing was that like the dude that kind of like released the whole information,
the doctor,
died, right?
The whistleblower.
Coronavirus.
34 years old.
Yeah.
No old guy.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, that's a little. My wife freaked out at that.
Yeah. So it kind of feels like it's almost somehow this whole the things that are happening now in our stock market and all the reaction to it is all kind of feels like that's them kind of poking at us, kind of like, okay,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, you guys should all be really afraid. Here comes the virus from China,
With the Chinese premier yesterday, Xi Jinping, he got on the microphone yesterday with a mask on.
Yeah.
And basically said, we fucked up. We haven't contained it.
So he's like scaring everybody.
And that's why Wall Street went like all three indices sank like 1,000 points.
He's like, dude, we fucked up, right? And he goes back, like, yeah, and he scared the shit out of him.
I got home from work and I'm like, the headlines in China are 6 hours ahead and the headlines in the States are 6 hours behind our time here in Germany. And so I'm kind of halfway between getting what they said and how it affected the markets.
Yeah.
And it sank to its lowest point, the Dow, in its 125-year history. Or I think it was the third lowest or the lowest that it ever sank in the short period of history.
Oh, so, you mean like just from the actual rapidity, like the really?
They're holding the industry was holding their hopes, like, okay, it's going to be good. We're going to contain this. It's not going to affect trade internationally.
Crazy.
We're good. We can ride this out. And then he gets on the microphone and says this damning report, like, we actually blew it. we don't have a hold on this at all, and it's way out of control.
Thanks.
And for him to say that, this guy who's normally stoic, the Chinese Communist Party leader, it's like, we're going to iron fist protesters. We're going to do this and that. We're going to run over people in Tiananmen Square, but we can't hold this virus in. We screwed up, folks. Sorry. It's coming your way. And that's where the market went like. Whirr.
So I'm looking at it right here. I have what do we have today? The 26th.
Yes.
So I'm looking on the 23rd, and then it goes from like 29,000 area to 27ish. So it lost 2,000 points. Yeah. I don't know. I don't follow the stock market.
You probably don't need to. It's if you find.
I don't have a 401k, but I was talking to my dad about the 401k, and so he's like, the trick is and I get this, like the tax thing is you don't want to pull out over a certain amount because then it's kind of like tax-free money that you're pulling out. So you don't want to pull it out fast. It's in there, it's locked in there, and it's doing its thing, and it's following the Dow Jones. For whatever reason, because it's some type of mutual fund.
Mm-hmm.
This mutual fund's following the Dow Jones, and so it's like, he's like, well, and like I pay, and if I'm really aggressive about it, I'll pull out maybe like $1,000 a month. So that's like 12,000 a year or something. It's nothing, really.
Yeah, right.
Like, or I don't know. You probably pull out maybe 20 a year, and you wouldn't, and you still stay in this low tax bracket, right? Because that's. Otherwise, if you say like I want $60,000 this year out of my 401k, then you have to pay 34% taxes
at least,
on it, right? So it just makes sense to kind of
little bits
to not let the tax bite you in the ass. So it's stuck in there, and it's just gonna have to ride it out.
That's it. Yeah.
And that's what I always hear. Like the real smart bankers that I've ever talked to, and I just had a meeting with ours yesterday, and I always appreciate when someone's saying to me like, take 20. He's like 20 years. Like I'm talking, we're not talking about daily trading.
Yeah,
we're talking like everything we're doing here is 20 years, 25 years. I'm 37, going on 37. I'm 36, going to 37, and he's like, you're young, in that sense of it,
Right.
but when I was like 19, I was like, oh, by the time I'm 25, I want to be a millionaire.
Shit, yeah.
Shit,
Hell yeah.
It's just like all these things.
Easily.
But then you look back and then I realize it's like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like it could have happened. Maybe you make it, but like but even then, it's like, were you thinking about investing like that? I was probably thinking more like, I'm gonna bet it all on Tesla. Like you just have like you have like kind of a more of this idea of like you're going to Vegas and you're putting it all on red, Bitcoin, and all the big things and all these sexy. I'm fucking the next Wall Street, the Wolf of Wall Street, and I got my just fucking throwing out the dollars.
Sure, yeah,
and
that's the dream.
Yeah, and so that's like this lure that you have, this emotional thing that you think about, and he's looking at me, he's like, I'm not going to paint a sexy picture for you. It's pretty boring. I was like, what? And I even complimented him. I'm like, you know what, though? We've been talking for like an hour and a half, and I was like, I have to say, like, I've had a nice hour and a half conversation with you about pretty boring stuff. Thank you, And he kind of like, he still kind of made it interesting, but it's not. But if you really think about it, it's kind of like it's boring as shit. Like, and it should be boring. It should be not sexy, right? And this kind of stuff, he's like, how many phone calls? Like right now,
I bet
like people just are like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Sell.
And they're all like, just no, write it out. 20-year plan. It's going to come back. It always will. It always has.
Yeah.
It's never going to stay down there. It's just, and that money you can't, but if you're on a 401k and you're retiring, it's kind of like, well, wait a minute.
That's scary.
Bad timing, because I'm living from that extra $1,000 is exactly what I need to get my food and hopefully I don't have a mortgage anymore. That's kind of the whole thing. I'm not paying a mortgage, because if you're paying your mortgage on your 401k right now, it's tricky.
I think being the token Americans in town, we always get asked these questions, and I even in Berlin, I was like the whipping boy for when Bush was as president. Like, why do you have a war going on?
He gets fucking reelected. You're like,
God,
another 4 years.
Yeah, thank you. I was like, no, I had nothing to do with this. And they're always like, they always come back to capitalism. And you guys do this, and you guys do that, and you're in Iraq for the gas, and you and your stock market. And I'm like,
it's true.
In a roundabout way, I'm thinking, okay, we go back to Greta. And mass consumption, and I'm like, and we got 4 kids. You have 3, and I have 4. It's like,
we can just say we have 7.
We have a lot of kids, and
together we should get
honestly, it's like the Brady Bunch. Not bad. It's just like, okay, here I've got to produce so many. I buy groceries twice a week, and we fill that massive refrigerator, which sucks a lot of electricity, full of stuff, bread, and we're doing that. Yeah. Who's to blame here? I'm like, capitalism. So I'm hoping maybe the bigger discussions and these cruise ships getting bananas from who knows where, and those delicious grapes from South Africa. Yeah, South Africa, wherever they're coming from. Maybe that triggers bigger discussions, or I don't know. I don't want to say regulation, but like, look, this is insane what we're doing, and that we're subsiding on the waves of Chinese virus and the Chinese premier and the American president who wants to bomb North Korea. Back then, they were frenemies.
Yeah,
and the market is it's going up and down. People are like hair trigger with their
the fact that
spending.
That the president that goes on a social network and just writes something, and then it like. I was talking to my parents-in-law right now at the party beforehand, and we're just talking about that kind of like the same thing we're talking about now, and he was just like, I was like, isn't that so weird that like this quote unquote most powerful man in the world, right? Yeah, goes on there like a 14-year-old and and just writes like fuck that guy.
The market goes
and he's just like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed now. And like, what is that?
Yeah,
like how could that be? That's another one of those things where I'm just like, I just sit there, it's hard to just imagine that's real sometimes, I don't know. And if we did that,
Oh, we get beaten down.
Yeah, like if we were to, I don't know, no one pays attention to us. So I mean, like when I write something on Twitter, no one says anything. So that's cool too. That's kind of a cool luxury. You should use that. We should enjoy that luxury that we have, that no one's listening to us.
Yeah, I don't even have an account, so I'm kind of doubly insulated.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I kind of got one. I got one a long time ago, but I noticed on there that a lot of people are on there just to kind of make themselves look good, and it's really annoying. You know,
Yeah.
A lot of people just this whole thing where they just constantly want to just reveal how virtuous they are, you know? And I'm just like, really? That's what it's coming down to? Like that you just have to kind of show a whole bunch of people you don't even know that you think what they're doing is unjust or, is, you know, it's
elevator speeches and baseball cards. This is who I am. These are my stats. And the grass is always greener on my side because.
Oh, even like with this little thing that we're doing here, this podcast, which I think like I've really like we've been talking for like good 2.5 hours, bro.
All right, sweet. All right.
So like we definitely broke the limit for this podcast. Like I haven't been able to get over an hour and a half yet.
Are you serious? Okay.
But I've done everything in German, and I think like in German, it's tougher for me. I think my language does get at some point like
I get tired. Yeah.
Like it's kind of like I just say, okay, let's just stop this, you know. Even when I was talking to Franzi, we talked for an hour and a half, and she's my wife, you know. Did I mention that? I mentioned her a couple times. But anyway, I was gonna say, like, we're sitting here, we're doing this podcast, and we have all these topics, and it's kind of like, okay, I'm gonna post this, we're gonna edit it, we're gonna post it, and we're gonna all of these things, all these ideas that we're sharing, you know, everything that we're talking about. It's just we're just gonna put it out there.
Cool.
Yeah. And it's like, well, you know, should I be afraid to share this opinion? And the cool thing is about a podcast is there's nobody above us like whispering in our ear telling us what we should say and what we shouldn't say.
True.
There's no like this is free speech.
It's
at
yours,
its best.
yeah.
Like and now you can just post it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And to get back to the Twitter thing, what I'm saying is that like the natural human tendency would be like, well, I post it on YouTube. Then I post our picture that we took, and I write, you know, Marc Snow, homeboy, my lost brother in Pasewalk, my American brother. We had a great conversation, and it's all authentic and it's all real.
Yes.
But at the feeling it can be that you want to somehow like look at the comments, you know,
pump it up.
What are people saying?
Sure.
Do they like it? Do they not like it?
Get the bots.
Do I get like this self-gratifying feeling of like, oh, did I represent myself in this certain way? Did I bring out the, you know? And it's one of those things. And you know, and if the whole time you're thinking about it, and I'm just trying to sit here and paint this picture of what Remington is, but behind this thing is like some other fucking person.
Yeah, that's,
you know, you smell that out really fast.
You should be able to, yeah.
Like the bullshit sensor is for us. Like in this kind of conversation, you would totally tell right away because you can't. Like there's no way that you would break right through that little thing that I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I would think so.
And I'm wondering if it would be like if I have like some type of politician on here, you know? Like,
yeah.
If I was to actually, but the thing is, I'd have to ask like the kind of questions that would, you know, they would be like, well, are you gonna kind of show me the questions first? Like we just kind of talked about really, before we started. It was just like, what do we want to talk about? You know, kind of like 2 seconds. We didn't really prepare anything. We just kind of let it flow. You know.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, if you could take a politician or take these people that have like this image in the media and just have them sit down and just fucking bullshit with them. Like, could you do that though? Would they even do it? No, I don't. I think a lot of people wouldn't do it because they don't want that.
That's a huge what do you call it? Town hall. You know, where they could get under fire for whatever. Or
yeah, because if someone that's like making money for being this figure or whatever comes on and you know, and says something about like or misspeaks even about you know, then it's gonna be like, whoa, fuck. But it's like that's a person.
Unfortunately,
it's just a thing, you know. Yeah. And before we had all this media and all these videos and all these words, like you would just sit there at the bar and talk shit, and no one would ever. There was no recording of it.
Isn't that weird?
It could never like come back 15 years later and be like, oh, you fucking said that shit like 15 years ago. Yeah. Here it is in Twitter. You're a fucking asshole. It's like, dude,
isn't that funny?
Like that's a new concept in our society somehow, you know?
It is. I mean, the power of like negative press or whatever. Like if you and I were saying stuff in a bar, and somebody overheard that, and wow, they said this about that, and how could they duplicate that Twitter? If somebody recorded us, put it on Twitter and said, these guys said this, and wow, dislike and hate mail and death threats.
Yeah.
How could you duplicate that in the 70s? It'd be like, you'd have to write, like, somebody hears it, writes it in a letter, sends that letter to 20 people in a chain mail.
Yeah.
Those people send it to 20, and it like goes viral in a paper way.
Yeah.
It's totally different. It's nobody involved. They're like, why would I say I hate chain mail? I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
But now everybody gets it, whether they want it or not, in their Twitter feed.
Yeah. It's
like, Remington said this, I have to react. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I mean, I think the thing would be like, it would on one end, you have to admit, like, it would be, of course, and it would be like a positive ego boost to think that, like, this conversation that we had, like, kind of hit something on some other people, and it kind of turned into like a big video.
Yeah.
Probably won't be.
You never know, though. Yeah, I mean.
But, but if it did, it would be kind of like, oh, that's cool. And I think that, like, if I haven't had that feeling yet, because I've just been I haven't really done any marketing for it or anything like that. We're just kind of just testing it out. It's like this is the 10th episode.
Okay,
so
cool.
We're
Congratulations.
The first double-digit episode.
That's awesome. Great. I feel good.
But yeah, it's a cool number. But I'm just saying, like, 10 is not, like, it would be interesting to see, like, if we can make it to 1,000 or whatever.
Yeah, you never know.
And I just don't know, like, if you actually do get to that point where it does kind of become this thing where it's in your head that that people are listening.
Yeah.
Because now it's I wonder how much you would have to just, like, not like discipline yourself from not looking at all those not looking at the comments and not falling into that trap, because this is the pure thing.
Yeah.
And it has to stay that way. It has to stay just you and me having a conversation, drinking a beer.
Sure.
Because that's what's real. And I think that's what a lot of people miss these days. I think a lot of, through all this stuff that we're doing, like, in our lives, we never have, like, I miss it. Like, I was telling you that, like, I appreciate just having a conversation with you, man.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I've wanted to do this with you ever since I met you. And it's been
so long.
It's been what, like, how long have you been in Pasewalk? 2 years.
This will be our third in June.
See?
July.
So you've been here almost 3 years.
I'm a lifer. Yeah.
We're lifers, bro.
I got my tats. I got, yeah.
P-Town.
Seriously. PW for life.
PW for life. But so it's taken us 3 years. We went one time, we went to the villa.
Yep. Had a good beer.
And then we've seen each other here and there and had, like,
barbecues
20 minutes
and passings, and
the barbecue was but, like, when the kids are around, we both know there's no quality conversations happening.
Nope.
And it just is the way it is.
Yeah, the kids see you and they're like, "Oh, Remington, Daddy, stop talking. Remington, this and the Remington." Yeah. Okay. It's great seeing you guys. Bye.
It's like, just don't kill them. Don't kill yourselves.
Don't hurt the Remington.
Don't let them kill themselves.
Yeah.
But we'll do it again for sure. Do the house is almost done.
Congrats. You guys have waited that out a long time. 8 months now. A year.
It took a year.
Okay.
And I don't know. I kind of thought it was going to be faster, but a year is actually not that bad. And now, like, by the end of this month, by the end of March, we'll be in there. So grill season is warming up again. So we'll definitely do the family grill again.
Awesome. We're thinking about buying a house here somewhere too. I don't know where, but looking at it now.
It's going to be like a lifer. That's a real life decision in P-Town.
It is.
Buy a house.
It is. Claudia's not so happy about it. I don't think she wants to stay here forever, but I don't know, I'm kind of connected to it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I think it works for me. I mean,
it's tricky,
kids.
It's Pasewalk. I don't know. It's funny that we found each other here, but I think we got to make the best of it. As long as you're still here, man, I'm happy that you're here.
That's what I'm telling my wife. We've got a good crowd of people here.
It's not where you're at. It's with who you're at.
That's it.
That's what Francis always say.
Good one.
That's our way. Let's end it on that, huh?
All right. Sounds
bro.
good.
Thanks
so much.
Thanks for coming by.